We are live at EIS where it is basketball time. We are starting off with the women's game today. It should, I mean, we're hoping for a close contest, but in previous years it hasn't been, and Hallam have managed to get win after win against Uni of. It looks as though the game is going to start very, very soon. So, without further ado, Hugh, do you want to introduce the commentary team?
Hi, I am going to send you to the commentary team now, Harry Harrison.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the English Institute of Sport in Sheffield for the M1s Basketball game for the 2022 Sheffield Varsity between Sheffield Hallam and the University of Sheffield. My name is Harry Harrison, and for the first quarter I am joined by
Mr. Hugh Richards here.
Lovely. Well, as I say, welcome to the English Institute of Sport. As you can see, we are about to get underway for our first basketball game of the evening. We've got the men's ones coming after this one, but today we are rocking with women's and men's ones as we tip the ball off, and it is University of Sheffield basketball as we get underway. Your starting five for the University of Sheffield. I've lost my team sheet, so I do apologise. Right then, as I say, your starting five for the University of Sheffield. Sandra Barragan-Contreras is the number 10. You've got the number 13, Sophie Wilson. You also have the number 5, Chloe Santa Claus, who's just driven to the rim, misses her layup, and now it's Hallam basketball going the other way. We also have the number 7 for the University of Sheffield, Maya Kelly, and number 16 as well, Anna Amazaga Katia. Straight away on the defensive end, the University of Sheffield giving away a foul as the referees have called that one. What are we expecting from today then, Hugh?
Well, Hallam have clearly shown their dominance in this sport over recent years, especially in the Women's League. They have done fantastically well.
Yeah, number 2 in the women's national Northern Tier, Bucks Northern Tier that is, with a finish, I believe, finished with a record of 7-3 to be second there.
Yeah, and they clearly have a very good offense, third best ranked in the league, and but their defense is apparently a bit shaky, so we'll have to see that.
Well, if you're looking at the statistics, obviously defence is a bit shaky for both of these teams. As University of Sheffield down inside, unable to score there, it remains a 1-0 lead to Sheffield Hallam University as they now come up on offence with Maria Eleftheriadou.
Great steal there.
And that is a
the break.
steal there from Sophie Wilson. She's going to go coast to coast. She's missed the layup. And it is the rebound. Oh, goodness me. As it does go out of bounds for a University of Sheffield baseline ball. Looking for their first points of the game, a University of Sheffield inside, blocked there by Sheffield Hallam. And that was a fantastic block.
Yep. Out of bounds, she's really clawed that one back.
Here they go, you can hear the play call there from the point guard for Sheffield Hallam. And it's turned over immediately. That's 2 turnovers in a row for Sheffield Hallam now. And that is a blocking foul there for University, or Sheffield Hallam University, I apologise.
Turnovers hurting Hallam early already, yeah?
It is, I mean, we were just saying we weren't expecting defence to be a massive factor in this game, but University of Sheffield have come out strong on the defensive end. And there we go, there's another turnover there, so Sheffield Hallam getting on the action for turnovers. And there's another one as well, backcourt violation. You can see Hallam head coach Vanessa Rellis calling for that one as well. And quite a prestigious coach, Vanessa Rellis, isn't she, Hugh?
Yeah, incredible. She head coach of the Sheffield Hatters, and she's worked as the assistant coach at Team GB level, so and a little bit of experience abroad as well, so she is
And we got another turnover there. Sorry to cut you off there, Hugh, but that is another turnover. Sheffield to the rim.
And another turnover.
Call. That's a block for the Sheffield Hallam once again. So that's 2 in this first quarter for Hallam. Driving to the rim. What a finish there from Sandra Barragan-Contreras.
Bit of traffic to get through there.
Sheffield Hallam. So that's Bria Allen, the captain, 'in' of Sheffield Hallam, that's got that score there. That was a tough shot. Yeah. Well done. pick play here from Sheffield in the corner. 4-3. That's off from the University of Sheffield. And here come Hallam on the break. Off the rebound. And here we go. As a left area do. And that is another, I believe, Sheffield Hallam turnover. It is. So it'll be sideline ball for the University of Sheffield, inbounded by Sandra Barragan-Contreras. She's got a nice shooting stroke, does Barragan-Contreras.
Yeah, you can tell she's been working on that in the off-season, definitely.
Lovely shooting stroke, and hopefully we'll see a bit of that today. Hopefully from behind the arc. We love a bit of three-point shooting in basketball nowadays, and that's another turnover for Sheffield Hallam. Really, both teams throwing the ball over there, and there we go. There's the score for the University of Sheffield. It's taken them just under 3 minutes to get that first score, but they have now scored finally in this game.
A lot of steals, a lot of turnovers for Hallam, but they need to turn it into points there, Union, don't they?
They really do, yeah.
And they've just done it there, so hopefully that's more to come.
Well, we can certainly hope that for the team, of course. That is Bria Allen, team captain of Sheffield Hallam, going to the line there, and she's getting some free throws. The foul was called on Barragan-Contreras. That's her first personal foul of the game. The first free throw made, and that's 2. And it's University of Sheffield basketball as we are approaching the halfway mark of this first quarter. 4-3, bang! University of Sheffield with Anna Amazega-Katia tying the game at 5, bang! 4-3 to respond, Sheffield Hallam, and that one's off the mark. Rebound, University of Sheffield, and here we go on the break. 3-on-4 for the University of Sheffield. They're going to slow it down and set themselves up for a half-court offense. On the three-point line, here's Barragan-Contreras on the right wing. Inside to, there we go, and that's another score inside there for Amazaga-Katia. I think that's 5 for her in this opening quarter. 5 of the 7 University of Sheffield points coming the way of the number 16. There's a lovely little hook shot inside there, wouldn't you say?
Beautiful, right over the defender. Didn't have a chance, really.
Textbook. And we've got substitutions in for Sheffield Hallam. I think we're going to get some for University of Sheffield as well. Into the ball game come for Sheffield Hallam, come Georgia Hooten and Rashika Tahir. And for the University of Sheffield, Elena Michaela. And fight for the ball there, and it is once again Barragan-Contreras getting involved on the defensive end. Spin move into the lane. What are they going to call it there? Sheffield Hallam ball. It's going to go the other way. She tried to spin into the lane there.
Yeah,
good
she
effort.
just sort of ran out of space there, didn't she, really?
Space, yeah. Fantastic move if you can pull it off, but you do need that little bit of space to spin into, which she didn't quite have on the three-point line now.
Good fake that.
Oh, and the mid-range shot there for Sheffield Hallam is off the mark. Kicked out here to Jess Southwell. Oh, and she couldn't dish it off inside. That's another turnover for Sheffield Hallam. The defence come into play here in Varsity 2022. Barragan-Contreras tried to get the drive there. Bang! University of Sheffield on the mark again. That one was 2 points. That is Eleanor Michaela on the board there. 2 points, her first 2 points of the game. Driving baseline goes Sheffield Hallam, no good there. And off they go to the races. Here we go, Eleanor Michaela attacking the rim. She loses the ball, it's going to be a turnover, and it's going to be Sheffield Hallam ball going the other way. Well, as we've said a couple times now, I don't think we were expecting the kind of defensive performance we've seen from these teams so far. Plenty of turnovers, getting into the passing lane, just making it difficult for each other. Both these teams are, I believe, they were the worst 2 defences in Bucks Women's Northern Division 1.
But then there you go.
Season.
You couldn't have 2 worst defences. They come together and they come to play. It's Varsity. Anything can happen, you know.
And that is another score for Eleanor Michaela. She's come in, instant impact. That's 4 points for her already. But on the break, straight away comes Sheffield Hallam. Baseline drive again. No good. Out to the three-point line. That's Jess Southwell again. And that's on the roll inside, and the layup is off. That's gutting for Bria Allen, the captain. That was a perfect executed pick and roll as well. I think that would have been that really should have been a basket for Sheffield Hallam.
Had a nice lane there. Free basket. Just couldn't convert.
Barragan Contreras. Whoa, the circus shot from Barragan Contreras. Wow. Timeout Sheffield Hallam. Vanessa Ellis has seen enough so far in this first quarter. She's called timeout, and I think she's probably about to say, we better start executing. I think we'll see some adjustments in this first quarter from both teams.
Yeah, I think they need to hold on to the ball. I think that's what she's going to tell them. Hold on to the ball, and especially on transition now, Uni of Sheff making it count, and you can see that in the scoreline, 13-5. But Hallam just need to hold on to the ball a bit more, and especially there, pick and roll, a great pick and roll, got into the lane, just couldn't convert the chance. There's your problem.
There you are. So, in now our timeout, we've got 3 minutes 50 to play in this first quarter when play resumes. Currently, the University of Sheffield leading Hallam by 8 points, 13-5. Hopefully we'll start to see a bit more offence from both teams as we get some adjustments here, as the referees blow for us to continue the game. As we say, 3 minutes 50 to play, and we'll just wait for the teams to retake the court.
Hallam's certainly looking for a bit more here, certainly.
Doesn't look like immediately there's any changes to the lineups here for both sides. Same fives, I believe, as entered the timeouts. What instant impact that was for Eleanor Michaela for the University of Sheffield. I think that's 4 points after coming off the bench there. One with a jump shot, one with the fast break layup. It's the kind of impact you want coming off the bench when you've got a bit of a stagnant game, don't you?
Yeah, straight away. If you want to make a change, you've got to make sure that she does the business, and she's showing it. She's showing she shouldn't have maybe started on the bench there. Fantastic work so far.
Oh, that was offline. I thought my angle up here on the balcony, I thought that went through there for just Southwell, but it's not quite. And here comes Sheffield on the break again. Foul call from the referee. It's going to be 2 free throws for the University of Sheffield. It's Chloe Seneclaus going to the line. Team captain, I believe, for the University of Sheffield is Seneclaus. As she makes the first. Lead stays at 9 after the first made free throw, after the second missed one. Oh, a little bit of miscommunication there from Hallam. Here's Barragan. Oh, bit of contact there. No call from the referee. And they weren't happy with that one. Here come Hallam on the break. We should see one more pass here. Inside, too high for... Who was that? I couldn't quite see there. Too high, the pass there for Georgia Hooden. And it's gone out of bounds. University of Sheffield will come the other way. Another turnover for Sheffield Hallam there. What's that more? Was that the defence, or was that more down to just a poor pass, maybe?
That one was a bit of poor execution, I think. That a few of them have been some great defence from Uni of, but that one was just not executed well,
yeah,
unfortunately.
Not their finest pass she will have ever thrown, and I think she'll be quite disappointed with that one. Moving the ball around nicely, dribbling into each other a little there, nearly turning the ball over again. Oh! Interesting shot creation there from Emma Trenchard-Knoll.
Picked up again on the turnover there.
Trying to get another circus shot there was Barragan Contreras, but she's not been successful. Here comes the Sheffield Hallam University. Foul call there. That is a foul. That's a foul on... Ooh. Chloe Seneclaus, of course. And that is sending a left Ariadu to the free throw line. I think this will be her third and fourth free throws of the game, and that foul has actually sent Chloe Seneclaus to the bench in the first quarter there. I think that was, what, 2 personal fouls in the first quarter then?
Yeah, well, a little accumulation. Nothing to be worried about, but yeah, probably just best to take her out for the time being. It's only the first quarter.
4 personal fouls in FIBA rules and you're out of the game, of course. Yeah. So she's already hit half that quota if that is her second personal foul, and I believe it was. So just protecting her, trying to keep her available for later in the game if it remains close. Another turnover there. Or was it a turnover? I think that was more of a blocked shot there. Sheffield on the break. And again, good transition. Sorry. Good transition defence from Sheffield Hallam. They've managed to stop the fast break a few times there. Tipped pass. And that is some cracking defence there from Bria Allen. Putting pressure on the ball high. University shall continue. And another stop, a turnover. Sheffield Hallam coming the other way now. Is she going to go all the way? Is she going to dump it off? Fake pass, scoops it in. Lovely score from Alevriadu. A little fake pass over the top there, sending the defender the wrong way for a nice scoop layup in and close. Spin move off the screen is no good. And Sheffield Hallam again will come the other way. There's Jeff Southwell. She's going to throw it full court heave, looking for a layup there for Alevriadu. It's not been quite possible. And that's a made three from Alevriadu. So heating up now for Sheffield Hallam. This gap has been cut to just 3 points. What a run for Alevriadu.
Well, Hallam, they've started cutting out these turnovers, and they're really starting to make it count on the offensive side.
Forcing some turnovers on the other end now as well, maintaining that turnover pace that we've seen from both teams. And that is a missed shot there from University of Sheffield again. So clearly, we've seen so far, University of Sheffield looking for shots in close in the first quarter, not really settling for those jump shots. Arguably the best shot in the game, but obviously with a defender there, not always the easiest.
No, definitely not. It was contested, but she felt like she could take it, and she proved us all wrong.
There's Alevriadu again. She's gone for it. I think the call has been a foul call. It's a foul call. Yep, Alevriadu will go to the line for her 5th and 6th free throws of the first quarter. So, University of Sheffield clearly struggling a tad to contain the Sheffield Hallam number 23.
Yeah, well, definitely in and around the basket. They've conceded a few fouls now, and it's getting a bit untidy, the defence down there under the rim.
It's clear that height and length combo proving a bit difficult for this shorter Sheffield Hallam University of Sheffield side. Sorry,
definitely.
They certainly do have a height advantage, don't Sheffield Hallam?
Yeah, Hallam have definitely got the taller players, so to speak.
University of Sheffield here. The long 2-point jump shot there, no good. Kicked outside to Eleanor Michaela, who's looking to get on the board again, looking for her 6 points. Good job there from Eleanor Michaela. That's 5 and 6 for her. 6 points in the first quarter. Again, as you say, maybe proving that she should have started in this game. And she'll now pick up Alevriadu.
Yeah, she time and time again just filling up for a 2-pointer, and she gets it. She's really showing out in this second quarter.
That's good defence that time. Alevriadu trying to feed the hot hand there with Sheffield Hallam, and that is the end of the first quarter. Shot wasn't able to be made off. So yeah, there you are. So that's the end of the first quarter for you. And it's been a solid first quarter. What are your thoughts on what we've seen so far? Obviously a 3-point game, but we did see a bigger lead early on for the University of Sheffield.
I think the big turning point was definitely the timeout called by Hallam. They definitely, Vanessa Ellis definitely talked to the team and made sure that they cut out the silly turnovers. And they paid off, and now that a few shots are starting to go in. But Sheffield Uni sort of keeping them at a little bit of an arm's length still, but definitely less turnovers for Hallam, and they're just overall just playing better.
And it is only a 1-possession game, of course. 3 points, the maximum point scores on a field goal in basketball, for those of you who maybe don't know. And that's taken from outside that 3-point line that you can see on the court, that black line on the outside. Showing that coaching experience then, Vanessa Ellis, as a professional basketball coach, experienced multiple WBBL championships with the Sheffield Hatters, and actually a very successful coach overseas in Europe as well, where obviously maybe the quality of professional basketball is a tad better than at home. Yeah. So clearly showing what has, well, earned her an assistant coach spot for Team GB on many occasions.
Indeed, she's definitely got into those players and said, look, turnovers not on. We've got to change that up. We've got to move forward. We've got to press them higher when defending, and we've got to make it count on the offensive side. And they've done that. They've decreased the deficit there.
And we are starting to see as well from Sheffield Hallam in that stint there, particularly through the hands of Alevriadu, the kind of high power offense that we are used to seeing from Sheffield Hallam basketball clubs. Obviously, the men's team, who we'll see later on today, also a high scoring team. But I believe the Hallam women's averaging 67.3 points per game as a team during the Bucks season, which is second in division, only trailing to the University of Manchester, which isn't bad considering the University of Manchester, I think, went undefeated through the Bucks season. So a real high quality team. Yeah. A real high quality team for University of Manchester. So that's no, that's no bad thing to be trailing them in terms of point scores. So a very good offensive team. We've just seen it there. Here we are, quarter number 2, and we're going to get it started with the University of Sheffield. Foul calls on Elena Michaela, who was looking to go to the rim once again, and she is going to the free throw line after the foul by the University, by Sheffield Hallam University. My apologies. I do enjoy watching, particularly when I'm watching basketball, when you see how different players approach their free throws. We saw a little bit of the rub at the bottom of the shoe there from Michaela, but we see a lot of different ones. I think earlier on we saw a little hop to the side for University of Sheffield free throw before, and obviously a lot of bouncing the ball for Lefteriadu when she's gone to the line for Sheffield Hallam.
Well, whatever works for them, you know what I mean? All these superstitions, everything like that.
Exactly.
Whatever
Very superstitious basketball players. And here's Lefteriadu looking to continue her hot start. 4-3, bang! And she continues her hot start to bring Hallam within 1 point. And she'll now pick up on defense straight away as it goes straight to the wing. And they're looking inside. That's a turnover. University of Sheffield turning the ball over there. And Hallam will come the other way. It's back in the hands of Lefteriadu again. Hallam really looking to feed the hot hand possibly on the wing. Looking to get to lane, another poking the ball away, a turnover there, and here comes Paula Sancho Navarro for the University of Sheffield. She flicks it up, she gets her own rebound, she's right in there, plenty of defenders though, and it has come back out, and University of Sheffield will retain possession. Here's Elena Michaela, she's gone for it for 3. Good rebound there from Amazaga Tatia. She was the hot hand early on, but she came out quite quickly for the University of Sheffield. She scored a few times, had 5 points in a few minutes. She'll be hoping to get back on the board again.
Almost a bit of a heat check, that one.
Was a little bit, yes. Nice pass from Bria Allen. Not able to score off the captain's feed. I think Olivia Montebaron will be hoping to get that one back. Here's Elena Michaela driving into the rim, into the lane, sorry. The turn, and it's a travel call from the referees. This time another turnover then. So more turnovers coming for University of Sheffield. That one, a travel call like that, maybe more fundamentals based than because of the defence.
Yeah, the Uni of Sheffield is starting to make the mistakes that that Hallam were making in the first quarter, and it's costing them now because Hallam have just taken the lead.
They have up by 1 now. The Sheffield Hallam.
Bit of a confusion on defence there for Uni of, I think. Players all over the place.
Fire for the ball there. And it's going Sheffield Hallam's way as the jump ball call comes in. We've got substitutions coming on for Sheffield Hallam. We've got Becky Davidson checking in, the number 9, and the number 4, Jess Southall, will be coming back in as well. Team captain, of course. No, she's not. That's Bria Allen as team captain. I think Jess Southall is club chairman now. Baseline jump shot, good for Chang Shi Wing. Hallam lead by 3. Kicked out now. Long 2 jump shot, offline again, but good offensive rebound and score for Paula Sancho Navarro. She gets her first points of the game, I believe.
That's how you use your height to get some second chance points there.
Exactly. Definitely one of the taller, if not the tallest player on the University of Sheffield team that we've already discussed does lack a bit of height compared to the Maroon team on the other side of the floor.
You can see that as well with Hallam trying to push inside as well. They're trying to bully them in the middle, but
I have found it interesting. I've noticed a few times so far in this opening half that the University of Sheffield are playing quite small. They seem to, particularly when the offense gets going and they do get a few drives to the rim, there doesn't seem to be much space on the out. There's a lot of space on the outside, but not that the team are using. They all seem to be inside the 3-point line, kind of around the key area. And that does really make it a lot easier for a team to defend because it's a lot smaller space for them to have to deal with. So maybe we'll have to see University of Sheffield starting to push it outside, get some shots outside a bit more. That's a nice pass from Wing but no good. The pass, and here comes Barragan Contreras. As she goes left, drives, throws up the shot, no good. Catches her own rebound, great hustle from it. Oh, and out of bounds it goes. I think that's going back to Sheffield Hallam. Good effort there. I like seeing a player chase down their own track.
She's putting in the hard yards so far, that's for sure.
Defense chance coming from the University of Sheffield side of the arena. Inside.
I love that.
Player hits the deck, but a missed layup there.
Need a bit more atmosphere.
4-3. No good. Rebound, Barragan Contreras. And off to the races goes University of Sheffield. The pass forward, tipped off. Not saved by Sheffield Hallam. And it will be sideline ball to the University of Sheffield. Substitutions again. In comes Hallam captain Bria Allen. And Sophie Wilson checks back in for the University of Sheffield. So adjustments being made once again by our two coaches. And this is Chloe Santa Claus on the ring. Her pass gets tipped, it's out of bounds, but it is University of Sheffield ball. She was looking for Amazaga Katia there. Didn't go through for them, but here we are. Chance to run an inbounds play in the other team's side of the court. Not able to get maybe their first choice pass. They just had to get the ball in, and they've done that. Working their way to the rim. What a score! Fantastic job there from Chloe Santa Claus. Trying to find Captain Bria Allen there was Chan Shi Wing. No good, and it is University of Sheffield ball again. Here's Barragan Contreras. Ball often in her hands coming up the court. She seems to be the devoted point guard. The pass out there, no good. That's a tough shot to miss. I feel like you want to hit those open jump shots when you've got them. And maybe just summarising the offence for the University of Sheffield so far in the second quarter. But that being said, still a very close game, and University of Sheffield are on top.
Yeah, definitely. Uni are hanging on to this lead just about for the moment, but I think there's a lot of room for Uni to be making some of these mid ranges.
4-3, no good, short there. And that is the kind of thing I just said we might want to see, is some more outside shooting from University of Sheffield. We just had two in a row there, neither of them good, but it is forcing Sheffield Hallam to step out, isn't it?
Yeah, they definitely, as you said, they need to rely a bit more on the jump shots. They've been forcing it through the middle and it's just not working for them.
Inside here, shake and bake here from Alethea, do no good this time. Hasn't seen the ball in her hands as much in the second quarter. I think she did maybe take a moment to the side, but since coming back in, hasn't had the ball go back into her hands as much. So cooled off a little bit there. University of Sheffield managing to contain her for the time being. In the post here, down low. Little sky hook was attempted, no good. And that's a foul. Chloe Santa Claus is going to go to the line. Once again, we're seeing it. I'm seeing a lot of University of Sheffield players putting a shot up and chasing their own rebound. And that's not something that we're seeing from just one player on the team. That seems to be a team culture thing. That's something they like to focus on.
Yeah, it's definitely been pushed to hustle. Hustle for that ball. Go get it. If you don't, it's okay, but you've got to go for that rebound if you think your shot's not gonna end up at the bottom of the basket.
And it's a common phrase on the NBA 2K game. The basketball doesn't discriminate. Whoever goes and gets it, that's who owns it. And that is what the University of Sheffield are trying to do by chasing down their own rebounds. And they've gotten 2 free throws made there from Chloe Santa Claus. And here's Bria Allen for the University of Sheffield, team captain. Sending one of her teammates baseline is no good, well read. And here is Eleanor Michaela. Finds Barragan Contreras. Inside here. What a spin, no good! That was a lovely little move there from Chloe Santa Claus, and it's no good. She's going, the ball is going back the other way, sorry. 4-3, no good. Rebound to here, ooh. And taken away by the University of Sheffield. A bit of a chop motion there, maybe lucky not to get the foul call.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be a little bit of a foul, but...
Bang for Barragan Contreras! And another timeout for Vanessa Ellis here. Sheffield Hallam, the only team so far to have taken timeouts, of course.
Yeah, it seems to be that Uni just start getting that momentum going, and then they're gone off to the races. You know that they've sort of went a bit flat at the start of the second quarter, but as soon as they've got the momentum, they're now really going, and now they've picked up a 5-point lead.
Well, I mean, the offences for both teams, arguably, maybe more so for the University of Sheffield, but in the second quarter, have picked up a bit.
Yeah.
Both of them, top 3 offensive teams in Northern Women's Tier 1 in the Bucks Championship. Sheffield Hallam, the second top team, and the University of Sheffield, the third top team. Some margin between the two, about 14 points difference per game, but still, good offensive teams, and we're starting to see it show now as the defences begin to suffer as a result. This the kind of basketball we're maybe expecting coming into the game.
Yeah, definitely. It was a lot more offense focused because we, as you said, the defenses were not highly ranked compared to the offense, and I think now it's starting to appear in the scoreline, and now we're starting to see a lot more baskets being made this second quarter, definitely.
As the teams come back onto the court, I think we've just seen Paola Sancho Navarro just check back in from the University of Sheffield. I believe she was on the bench at the time. May not have, that could be my mistake. Inside there. Inside, and that is a fantastic score by Rashika Tahir. I believe that's her first points of the game. Been a solid presence on defence has Rashika Tahir so far, locking down the middle. But getting her first points of the board, and there you go, she came over there. That's a foul call from the referees. University of Sheffield are going to the line. I think that was a good call.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit too much contact there for it to just be a little.
Often from a obviously these aren't young age players, so to speak, but often we are taught that if you swing your arm down, you're going to call that. But there wasn't much of a swing motion, a chopping motion from Tahir there. I think it was more the late arrival as she was coming across to help was what the foul call was for there. Made the first free throw, University of Sheffield. No good on the second. The rebound was with Tahir. But I believe we've had somebody step inside the key too early. And Chloe Santa Claus is going to have another attempt at her second free throw. But this time she makes it. So, costly mistake there from Sheffield Hallam.
Yeah,
stepping in too early.
Fantastic from the line so far.
She has been fantastic from the line. Tahir for free. No good. Off the backboard. And it comes out. Here's Michaela up the court. Drives right down the key. Big rebound there from Sancho Navarro. Offensive rebounds galore for University of Sheffield. And they will start the offense again from the top with Chloe Santa Claus. Here goes Barragan Contreras driving in. The floater no good. Rebound the left rear do.
They're really starting to pile on the boards now, and it's starting to tell. Because they're getting a lot of chances, second point chances.
Something we're not quite seeing as much on the other end. I don't think we've seen nearly as many offensive rebounds for Sheffield Hallam. There's a left rear do, finally getting herself with the board in this second quarter. Oh no, she did hit a 3 at the start of the quarter actually, didn't she? It was a big 3. But continuing her fantastic opening half with 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes 40 to play in this first quarter. Lovely shot there from Eleanor Michaela, one of the hot hands for University of Sheffield. There's been a few solid outings, but that's another basket for her. To the wing, here's a left rear do again. The screen from Jess Southwell. And no good for a left rear do. So she's had 2 threes already this game. Not good there, but 2 threes in the first half. That's got to give you a bit of confidence.
Yeah, and definitely, and they're getting these good looks now, Hallam. They're really starting to open up the offense with a few picks here and there. Really starting to spread the floor, and they're getting opportunities like that. They're going to start going in. We
have got some personnel changes. Checking in for the first time for Sheffield Hallam, we've got Eloise Grooms, and we've also had Molly Rommelrath check in, number 8. There were some changes for the University of Sheffield as well. I believe there was 2. Ruby Mabutt has checked back in, number 8. As she drives straight away and gets a score, banking it off the window. Nice start.
That is how you start. That is exactly what you want to do, Harry.
And it was the number 12, Geneva Chambers, that checked in with her. Here's Bria Allen again. Ooh! Bit of contact at the rim, but the whistle came earlier. But it is going to be 2 shots for the Sheffield Hallam captain. bit of confusion as to the type of foul that was called there. It is just a normal foul on the arm during the shot. 2 free throws. And look at that. Well, clearly, Sheffield Hallam are going to put a rebounder in there. I thought they were kind of
go for the board there, but
I thought that might have been. It was usually a very basic thing, and if you don't do that, it's tactical. I thought that might have been a call from Vanessa Ellis, but no. Bria Allen telling her teammates, as a good leader does, to get in the right place. She tracks back into the middle of the defence. She's going to lock it down for the University of Sheffield. Now, I've just noticed for the first time on that possession, Sheffield Hallam are playing a zone defence. It looked to me like a 2-3. So 2 at the top of the key, and then 3 down across the baseline and 1 in the middle. That 1 in the middle, of course, Captain Bria Allen. And she's going to drive baseline. Scores with the left hand inside. That's another basket for Sheffield Hallam, which will bring them to 5 points behind. Barragan-Contreras finds inside. No good. It's going to be tipped out of bounds as she went for the offensive rebound. Geneva Chambers unable to get on the scoreboard in this game.
Both teams look like they're starting to push inside a lot more, driving towards the basket, forcing the issue, because a few jump shots maybe not falling here and there, and they're really driving to the basket now.
A left rear do no good, and University of Sheffield will come the other way. Still trying to push the hot hand there with a left rear do, aren't the Sheffield Hallam University? They need to get the ball over the line there. They just about do. I think that must have been close. Obviously only 8 seconds allowed to move the ball over the halfway line into the other team's territory. And that's a turnover for the University of Sheffield. As Hugh goes to join Conor Braga in the presenter booth for half-time. You're just with me for the last 40 seconds. And here comes Barragan-Contreras as she scores on the break. And she's telling the referee she was fouled there. She thinks she should have had a chance to make it 3 points on that shot there. The referee says no. Here's Bria Allen. Drives baseline, kicks outside. Jess Southwell. For 3. No good. University of Sheffield happy to give that to Southwell. And she's not able to make them pay this time. Inside. Chloe Santa Claus not able to strike there. She gets her own rebound, doesn't quite make it, and that is the end of the first quarter. What a bit of action we've seen so far. And it has been a bit of a nice offensive explosion in that second quarter. And hopefully we'll see more of it in the second half. We will pass you back over to our presenter team soon enough. We'll pass it over to the presenter team soon enough. As the teams go to their break, of course. Giving the coaches and players the chance to... Giving the coaches and players a chance to dissect what happened in the first half, and gives us an opportunity to pass it back over to your presenter team. Conor Braga is joined with Hugh Richards.
Well, that was an absolutely cracking first half, I have to say. Uni have taken a surprising 7-point lead going into the second half. You obviously had the pleasure of commentating alongside it. What did you think of that first half?
Well, I thought Uniov, it was fantastic the way that they weren't just driving to the basket, they were also getting open looks from mid-range, from outside the three-point line. They were doing really well, and Hallam, big problem for them, turnovers, massive problem. I think you noticed that as well.
Yeah, massively. Like, they just kept giving the ball away and the ball away over and over again, and you can't afford to do that, especially when you're behind. Now, like we've heard before, that Hallam, when they ooze confidence, when they get behind, sometimes they might panic, and I think we are starting to see a little bit of that, which for Hallam supporters out here is not a good sign.
Yeah, definitely not. And I think, although you did see Hallam when Vanessa Ellis made a few timeouts, in those timeouts, big changes were made. There was some great changes to the offense and the defense. Definitely losing the turnovers after the first timeout, and in the second timeout, really pushing it to the outside to take some more jump shots and try and get some more open looks.
Yeah, one thing I do have to say that I noticed was the shooting. The shooting for Hallam in that first quarter especially wasn't as good as I think what they would expect, right? And then going into that second quarter, they really improved. They seemed to understand that that's where their problem was, and you could see more clinical shooting. That was the thing that got Uniov ahead to begin with. You saw Hallam clawing it back, especially with a few 3 points coming towards them. Like, I think that's a problem for Uniov. They seem to be giving a lot of free shots away to Hallam, and you can't afford to do that when you're already the underdogs. To give those 3 points to Hallam, I think it's a massive risk.
Oh yeah, Hallam obviously second best offence in the league, and although Uniov third best offence, that Hallam offence is going to make you pay. They're not gonna sit around. The shots will start falling, and if you keep giving open looks like that, Uniov have got to sort out their defence really.
Yeah, they definitely have to sort it out in the second half. But even then, even with the fact that they have only conceded 28 points, right? You got to think that we are saying here that Uniov have to sort their defence out. But if anything, maybe it's Hallam that have to sort theirs. And I think that is, it's a tale of two tapes, right? It's becoming quite difficult to realise who's going to take this game because, quite frankly, Hallam have the ability to run away with this. They have done in previous years, and I think Uniov would have surprised themselves, but what they've got to do is they've got to take that belief and move forwards. Like, if you were in that Uniov camp right now, what would you be saying?
Well, I'd say keep the momentum. Uniov, it's a vintage Varsity performance so far. It's been fantastic from them, building on that momentum, building on the fans. Been fantastic here. More Uniov fans by the looks of it, but they've really built on the fan noise and momentum, and they're now 35 to 28 up. But Hallam equally could come back into it. You never know. It's really chop and change, momentum switching all over. But Uniov, I would say, keep that momentum.
Yeah, definitely. And as you can see behind us, like I think a few of the camera shots might be able to show it a bit more, but behind us, Hallam are actually practicing their shooting. Clearly, Vanessa has seen that to be a weakness in that first half, and they want to rectify that, right? And because if they did take a few more of their chances that they had in that first half, I don't think Uniov would be in this, right? It is very much like that. If Hallam took their chances, Uniov wouldn't be in it right now, especially wouldn't be in the lead. So Hallam really have to improve their shooting. If they do that, there's a worry, right, for Uniov that this game could run away from them.
There's definitely always a worry with that Hallam offence. They've shown that they've got a good three-point stroke from outside the arc. They've been fantastic on a few possessions that really opened up that Sheffield defence. But the thing is, I think we've got to look at both teams, and the momentum keeps switching, and the defence and the offence, they keep getting the better of each other. But right now, it is Uniov Sheff with the momentum, and Hallam have got to do something to stop that. Maybe try and force some more turnovers, crank up the pressure.
Yeah, definitely. And you can't force it too much, though, because that then gets rid of the flow of the entire game. And I think the big question is, Hallam have not lost at Varsity yet. Will this be the first time? There's only one way to find out as we go into this second half. Now we'll hand over to the commentary team. Harry, take it away.
Thank you, guys. We are back at the English Institute of Sport, of course, the home of Sheffield Hallam Basketball, the home venue for the games of the Sheffield Hallam teams and their practices. But we've got it decked out in a lovely seating arrangement. University of Sheffield on one side, Hallam on the other. And I'm joined once again, by
I'm
Hugh.
Back here again, join you for a second half. Didn't think I would, but I'm still here.
Well, you were so good, we thought we'd keep you on.
Thank you. You flatter me too much, Aaron.
Right then, second half of basketball here at Sheff Varsity 2022. And it will be University of Sheffield basketball as we kick off. Good first half from the University of Sheffield. They lead by 7. And the Sheffield Hallam University will be looking to respond in this second half. Obviously, not a massive deficit, but 7 points still sizable. 3 possession game, sorry, actually. So they do need to string a few possessions together if they're going to come back into this.
Wow! That is a start from Hallam.
What a fantastic way of starting to do that. I left Riadu gets off to a hot start in half number 2, just like she did in half number 1. Spinning to the lane, no good. And I believe that's a travel call from the baseline referee. It is. Sheffield Hallam will go the other way. Interesting seasons that these two teams had, I think particularly for Sheffield Hallam. Their Bucks season started quite poorly. Obviously finished the season 7-3, but started 0-3. So their first 3 games they'd lost. 1 loss to Liverpool, 2 losses to that formidable Manchester team that we mentioned earlier. But that means they won 7 straight to finish the season. And that's good momentum. Momentum you thought would have come into this bang as Bria Allen adds another 3 more on for the Sheffield Hallam's hot start.
Very hot off the blocks here, Hallam in the second half. It has been fantastic so far, especially from behind the arc.
I believe there's been a few made, well, I don't know how many exactly, but certainly more than the University of Sheffield. I can remember 1 made 3 for the University of Sheffield, and that was the one that came from Amazaga Katia in the first quarter. It was her first basket of 2, I believe she's got so far. She's got 5 points total.
Yeah, well, we were saying at half time that if Hallam started, because they're getting the open looks, if those shots started to fall, then they would make Uni pay, and they're making Uni pay right now. Exactly.
There is Barragan Contreras. Takes a bit of contact, no appeal to the referee this time. They had a bit of a chat at half time before Barragan Contreras joined the huddle with her teammates. Maybe the referee's telling her to pipe down a little bit.
Yeah,
not to complain so much, and a technical foul maybe coming her way. So maybe we'll see a little bit less appealing from the number 10. She swings it to the wing. This is Sophie Wilson. Baseline drive from Santa Claus. It goes out of bounds. University of Sheffield getting back on defence. That's a turnover. Jess Southwell to the wing. Pull up J is no good. Offensive rebound, Sheffield Hallam. Maybe one of the first, the first, bang, that's a 3. Didn't even manage to get that sentence that I struggled on there before we've got another 3 go down for Sheffield Hallam.
3 and 3?
I think that's 3 for 3, maybe 3 for 4. But either way, a very, very hot start for Sheffield Hallam. Foul call on the baseline. That is 2 free throws coming up for Maya Kelly. That might have been her first shot of the game, I think, for Kelly. And it's not always bad to finish some free throws. It should be a good shot. Obviously, professionals averaging maybe 75% from the free throw line. We've seen some players in today's game do much better than that. Alefteria do for Sheffield Hallam most notably. As the first one is no good.
I think it's a nice way to ease in the free throw. Get yourself warmed up, get going.
They are. Second one goes down, and if she gets to the line again, she'll be hoping to make them both. 50% from the line then for Kelly. Here's She Wing.
Great hustle from Uni over there.
That's a bit of hustle. Oh, and there's Santa Claus. She thinks she's been fouled and then gets called a travel. So the arms went up in protest, and the referee says, well, that's a travel then.
Well, I think as we see this game wind down and as we see the score get a lot closer, it's going to start getting a bit rough, and the referees are going to get a bit of an earful.
It's always risky giving a referee an earful, though. You don't want to get yourself in trouble. Allen. Looking left. Here's Southwell. Top of the key. To the wing. She Wing. No good on the 3. University of Sheffield coming the other way. Here's Santa Claus. Is she going to lose it? Chasing it down. Rolling around on the floor. Great hustle from all those players there. And it is Sheffield Hallam ball on the jump ball.
All that for nothing there, unfortunately.
You love to see the heart, though, don't you? You love to see the heart.
Leaving the heart out on the court here.
Next time, that'll be going University of Sheffield's way. Here's Alefteria do starting the offense here for Sheffield Hallam as she goes right. Here's Bria Allen inside, throws the shot up, no foul call. Here come Uniov on the break. Barragan Contreras to the wing. For 3, bang! The 3 made there by Sophie Wilson. I think that's her first 3 of the game, and that has put Sheffield Uni back in front. Bit of miscommunication there. I think Shi-Wing was looking for left rear do, but she was trying to cover out as her captain, Bria Allen, went to the rim. Here's Santa Claus in the post. And a travel call again on Santa Claus. That's the second of this third quarter, sorry. As now we'll see Elena Michaela come in, as well as M. Trenchard Mole. Elena Michaela maybe hoping to have a nice hot start off the bench in the third quarter like she did the first. Turnover Sheffield Hallam way. What do you make of this third quarter then, Hugh, as we're approaching halfway now in the third quarter?
It's been chop and change. I said at half time I thought Hallam were probably going to get back into it and they've taken those shots, and they have. And now it's getting a bit more scrappy, it's getting a bit more into it. I like to see that. It's Varsity, it's a derby. You know, you gotta really get into it, get a bit scrappy, and that was how this game was always going to end up.
Much more physical this start of the second half, particularly from Sheffield Hallam. I think there's been a lot of throwing the rate around from Hallam. Here's a left rear do, going to work on Elena Michaela. Elena Michaela done a solid job guarding a left rear do so far today when they've gone one-on-one, and she's done a solid job there again. Down court from Barragan Contreras. Saved, but it's going to go Hallam way. And here's a left rear do again. 4-on-3 for Sheffield Hallam. Foul called. It's going to be 2 shots for a left rear do again. And she has been shooting well at the free throw line.
Yeah, she has been excellent from the free throw line, I have to say. Very impressive so far. And if she keeps that up, taking those penalty chances, I mean, you're really making points like that count, and that will count towards the end if they keep fouling like this.
They aren't called free throws for nothing, are they? It's a free chance to get some points on the board as the teams go to the sidelines for a timeout. I believe, just based off the fact that it was a, well, to be fair, seeing as it was a foul, I don't think there's a definitive answer to who called that, because I did miss that. But we have gone to timeout. So obviously, both these teams in the same division in Bucks Championships, the Northern Tier 1, as we've said a few times, and so have therefore played twice already this year, both of them going the way of Hallam women. So, and well, in one of them by a fairly considerable margin. I believe it was a 30-point victory in January over Uni of.
Well, that's the thing, as you said earlier as well, that they've won the last 7, but I feel like form, momentum, you know, it's cliche, but it's a derby, it's a rivalry. That goes out the window. As you can see, everyone's getting into it, it's getting a bit more rough and tumble in the second half. And Hallam are definitely showing that they've got a bit more class from outside the arc. Definitely they've been making those shots, but I think we'll find this game starting to go down to the wire as the time dwindles out.
Well, I hope you haven't jinxed it. I hope it does go down to the wire, because that'd be a lovely game.
Exciting, that.
Here's a left rear do. Obviously, both makes from the free throw line will tie this game. And there's the first. Continuing her good free throw shooting in this game. And there's the second tie ball game with 4:45 left to go in this third quarter. Oh, and that is that's definitely a travel there from Trenchard Mole. Here's a left rear do again for Sheffield Hallam in the corner. She goes baseline on Elena Michaela. And again, Elena Michaela doing enough to disrupt
Lovely spin
Hallam's
move,
hot hand.
Not enough. Just a great bit of defense in the key there.
Inside, Barragan Contreras is inside. Great feed from Elena Michaela. Or Elena Michaela, I believe it's actually not. So I do apologise to Elena. I think I've been pronouncing that wrong all game. A left rear do goes to work again on Michaela. Kicks it out this time to Southwell. No jump on the jump shot, and it was a little bit sore, so maybe needed a little bit of a hop there. As here we go.
Nice break.
No one back. And she makes the layup. Great score there from Sophie Wilson. She got straight out there. Here's Allen on the wing. Inside to here. Nice little baby hook. Scores inside.
That is one of my favourite moves. Just a lovely little caress of the finger roll, really, and it's just sort of creeps into the net there.
And not as easy as it looks finishing inside, actually. Even over some defenders that are quite a lot shorter than you. That takes practice. A lovely textbook move there from Rashika to hit. As we have some swaps here for University of Sheffield. That's Sophie Wilson and Trenchard heading out. And that was Kelly coming back in, as well as Sancho Navarro. Here is Sheffield Hallam, down by 2 currently. A left Riadu scores to tie the game. And again, a left Riadu, the person putting the ball in the basket for Sheffield Hallam.
She has been fantastic
Corner.
since the break.
And a travel call called there. A move maybe legal if you're James Harden in the NBA, but not in FIBA rules basketball. The little side step there. Does need to bounce the ball to do that. And Vanessa Ellis had a catch on the boat on the sideline for Sheffield Hallam, calling that straight away. To here, unable to make it 2 possessions in a row with a score. And here's Michaela. She's going forward, looking for Santa Claus. She does find her through 2 defenders. And that is going to be a travel as well. Another travel there.
A shame, fantastic pass. That really thread the needle, I thought.
It was. It was a good recovery from Sheffield Hallam to even put 2 bodies on her there.
Indeed, yeah.
But what a pass to get it through the middle. Unable to capitalise. It was a turnover. And here's Sheffield Hallam basketball. Oh, and Michaela gambled on it. It's not going well. She's got to get back into play there. Great recovery there from Barragan Cortez. She's got to get out to the corner. Here's an F. Riadu. Bang!
Booyah!
In the corner. Sheffield Hallam lead by 3. Turnover, there's the steal. Momentum shifting, definitely. It's Sheffield Hallam basketball right now.
Drastically changing in this game now. Hallam are really forcing the issue.
Bria Allen. Top to a left Riadu. The pick and roll between a left Riadu and her captain. Finds to here inside. Good defense this possession by Uniov. They're not letting that big momentum hit shifting 3 take hold. And there you go. Barragan Contreras gets the turnover there. Good not to dip your head there after a big couple plays there on offense and defense for Sheffield Hallam. That's the kind of stop you need.
That was fantastic from Uniov, just slowing it down, not panicking, calming it down, and getting the steal out of it. Fantastic defense.
And silencing that Sheffield Hallam crowd.
Yeah.
Some chants now led from the University of Sheffield side of the court. And I believe, looking from up here, it looked like it was Nick Boker, the University of Sheffield 3's captain, that was leading that.
Of course.
Of course it was. End line ball for University of Sheffield. It's Barragan Contreras. She's inside. Finds Kelly for the jump shot. No good. Off the right iron. It'll be a rebound for Southwell for Sheffield Hallam. Here's Allen. A left Riadu. Double teamed in the post. Here's Southwell. Drives. Puts the shot up. No good.
To be honest, to get the shot up there was quite impressive. I thought
very
it was
athletic as well. Yeah, I think she had to bring it down as she got to go underneath the defender's arm. She had to go back up again. Not an easy shot to do.
Definitely earned the foul.
Definitely a foul, yes. But no good on the free throw. Maybe we're noticing Southwell not the most confident shooter. She's been open from 3 a few times in this game. Not a shot she's wanted to take. She's had a few open long 2s as well. She hasn't been keen to shoot the jump shot.
Yeah, I think it shows. She's that foul in particular. I mean, she's trying to drive inside, force that issue, and she seems a bit unconfident on the jump shot, as you said.
And that was 2 missed free throws as well, so clearly not a confident stroke. And a turnover there for University of Sheffield again. These 2 teams met earlier this month, actually, in Bucks. It was 7th of March at Goodwin Sports Centre, the home of, obviously,
University of Sheffield Basketball. It was a 4-point game in the end. So contrary to that 30-point defeat the University of Sheffield suffered to in January, only losing by 4 this month. Allegedly with only 8 players as well. I believe there was only 8 University of Sheffield players there. So a solid result there for the University of Sheffield. And so clearly, that may be a more realistic margin we see between these two teams. Obviously a 30-point defeat early on, 4-point defeat in their last game of against this team in Bucks. Now it's only a 3-point gap between the two, but Hallam leading. Shot goes up, no good, and that's the end of the third quarter. As the two teams go to have a quick break, catch their breath, make some changes, some tactical changes for the fourth and final quarter of this close game. And they will be back on the court in 2 minutes. Coming up later on Forge TV though, the University of Sheffield men's 1s basketball versus the Sheffield Hallam men's 1s basketball. That's going to be a cracker. Obviously both those two teams met earlier in the year as well. And that game went to overtime. That was a cracking game. Do you reckon we may see another one again?
Well, you took the words out of my mouth. I think it is going to be an absolute classic out here on the court later. That men's one's very heated, as you said, very close, very tight. And I think because it's varsity, because of the occasion, I think we will see another tight one tonight.
A little bit more determination from the University of Sheffield's way. Obviously, statistically, the men's one team, the worst in their division, men's Division 1. They did finish 5th, but the stats would say they are the worst team in that division there. Whereas Sheffield Hallam, they won that division with a record of 8-2. So, two very different teams, but it always seems to be a cracker when they face each other. A little bit of fire in the bellies of the University of Sheffield. And as I say, that's coming up later. But we will go back to the women's one game here in Varsity. We will be back very, very shortly. 40 seconds left on the timeout clock. Varsity between the two women's ones teams hasn't always been close. Obviously, I think both yourself and Connor mentioned earlier, Sheffield, I don't think have ever, we don't think at least, have ever won a varsity matchup against Sheffield Hallam. But they have been closing the gap for a number of years between the quality of the two sides. I believe in 2014, the varsity result was 110 to Sheffield Hallam to 27 for the University of Sheffield. So a hefty margin of defeat, and obviously we're not seeing that today. A 3-point game as we start the fourth quarter, and we are in for a cracking end to this game. Inside here to Amazaga Katia. Oh, and she tries to pass it back out, but that is a turnover. Jess Southwell. And that's a turnover for Union. Going forward. Stops on a dime and makes the lay-in. Lovely score from Amazaga Katia. I believe that's 7 points for her now on the game.
She's been fantastic in the paint there, really controlling the game and picking up a lot of
balls. Oh, and a left rear do bangs another one home. I'm sorry to cut you off there, Hugh. That was lovely shooting from a left rear do again.
Another beautiful free, to be honest.
She does. Fantastic shooting form as well. One of the nicest ones we're watching in this game. Barragan Contreras stuck here. She's picked up the ball. It's a dead ball. Oh, and that's a turnover, University of Sheffield. A little bit of miscommunication there from Santa Claus and Kelly, and that's led to the turnover there. So not a fantastic start to this fourth quarter. It's been okay. Obviously, we got the turnover and the fast break score from Amazaga Katia, but a big 3 and a turnover there for Hallam makes it a 4-point game rather than 3 as it started in this fourth quarter. The ball in her left rear D's hands again. She kicks it to Southwell. She drives. Doesn't want to put the shot up again. Turnover.
Tries a little behind the back move there. Just missed. It was unfortunately a travel, but it's a nice little move. It would have been fantastic.
It would have been cool. It would have been very cool.
Great.
And here comes Sheffield Hallam, looking to defend, as we've said, their traditional home court here at the English Institute of Sport. A venue that's seen plenty of varsity action so far today. The results of which you can sure to be able to catch up on in Forge's other media channels, Forge Radio and Forge Press. What a spin move from Shi Wing. Oh, she spat it. That would have been lovely.
Almost deserved a basket there, didn't she, from that?
Trying to thread the needle here to Barragan Contreras. I would have taken that shot there, gathered the ball. But that's why I'm not playing in Varsity, because I probably would have missed it.
Would it have gone in? That is the question.
Great hustle there from Jess Southwell. Finds her captain. Ooh. This time she takes the jump shot, Southwell, and it is off the mark. Goes out the defence, foul call there. It is going to be, once again, Chloe Santa Claus going to the line. I think she's taken the most free throws.
Yeah, she's definitely been getting to the line a lot, and that's a credit to her real grit and determination, just trying to drive towards the basket and pick up those layup points.
Certainly not afraid to get stuck in, is she?
No.
You love to see that. She makes the first.
Keeps that streak going, fantastic.
That makes it a one-score game, so obviously if they get a stop here, a two-point game.
Almost automatic from the line as centre force. Fantastic.
A real leader on the floor.
Might as well give them 2 points.
Leading the way. Making some free throws that the team really needed as well. Southwell kicks it out to her left Riadu. Just on three-point line again. And the shot goes up. No good there. That's the first shot and first miss from Wang Chung-Yan.
Lovely move there.
Barragan Contreras finds. Oh, and that's no good.
That was like a knife through butter there from Unio, just couldn't
Santo
finish.
Navarro wasn't able to capitalise. I do apologise for cutting you off there. Shi Wing, no good as well. Rebound Santa Claus. Spins out there, lovely. Barragan Contreras drives to the rim. Is she going to finish? No, but the foul call is called. Barragan Contreras touching her eye there. Maybe a bit of a poke in the eye.
It's really getting end to end, and the defenses aren't setting up. They're not getting a chance to set up, and that's showing. Another almost open lane to the basket until they came across and committed the foul.
High tempo basketball certainly in this fourth quarter. As we can hear the pounds coming from the Sheffield Hallam Hydro Stadium. They're trying to put Barragan Contreras off, but she makes that first one, and the University of Sheffield side cheers.
So you say, how's your bottle? There it is.
2 for 2.
Oh yeah.
Big free throw shooting here in the fourth quarter for the University of Sheffield. Straight up court. And a good bit of defence there from Santa Claus. Tips it out of bounds, but it is Hallam ball again. Out of the key. Oh, Shi Wing wasn't able to hold on to the pass.
That was loose.
Are we maybe seeing a bit of a momentum shift here, do you think? Is it maybe something towards University of Sheffield?
It was all Hallam not many minutes ago, maybe 2 minutes ago, and now Sheffield are really sticking it to them.
Mia Kelly unable to score there. Shouts of air ball coming up from the Sheffield Hallam side, not hitting anything. Could be a real momentum killer, a shot like that.
Yeah.
University of Sheffield will hopefully be hoping. That is not the case. Here's Shi Wing. Shoots the baseline J. That goes all the way. That's an air ball as well. Big cheers from University of Sheffield side. Santa Claus again on the floor. The hustle from the captain today has been fantastic. Kelly finds Amazaga Katia. University of Sheffield ball, sorry. And it's timeout, University of Sheffield. We're tied at 49 now, with just over half of this fourth quarter to go. This is going to look like it's going to go down to the wire at this point. Obviously, that's forbidding any big runs from either side, but we are lined up for a fantastic finish.
Yeah, it could even be a buzzer beater, maybe overtime, you never know, but it is very tight. I said it was all on the momentum, and the momentum's chopping and changing. You couldn't guess right now.
Can you imagine the scenes if this game is won? Varsity Women's 1s Basketball is won by a last-second shot at the buzzer.
It'd be absolute limbs. It'd be chaos in here, honestly. Absolute chaos.
The place will go into raptures.
KFC everywhere, McDonald's everywhere.
I could deal with McDonald's actually. I'm quite hungry. I don't think I ate enough lunch.
Plant for me.
Right, there we are. Timeout's over. That's the buzzer sound for that. They'll be coming back to the court soon enough. Sheffield Hallam once again. First team back on the court. They consistently are. I think that's the same 5 for Sheffield Hallam when they're back on the court. And I believe, again, the same side for Uni of. Santa Claus inside. She's underneath the rim. And a travel call called there from the referee.
Yeah,
I'm not convinced watching that. I wasn't convinced there was a travel there.
Just a little bit too much.
I could be wrong. It was a funny angle from up here, but I'm not convinced there was. Allen. Left reader gets herself open on the outside. Puts the ball on the deck. Driving now. That's a foul call. She makes the shot and the one. That's our first of the game. Shot is made. A left Riadu is going to the line for one more to chance to make it a 3-point play. What a finish.
Well, she has been absolutely fantastic so far. And maybe her shooting form will continue by making this free throw.
Scored inside and outside and at the free throw line as well. 3-point game. Sheffield Hallam lead. Just over 5 minutes left in this final quarter.
Those plays all count now. It's getting down to the wire. 3-point play like that.
Strong
massive.
pick there from Santa Claus. She goes to the rim. Foul call again. And she's going to go to the line for 2 more. I think I've lost count of how many free throws she's taken today.
I've lost count of how many she's made. So.
Me too as well. Yeah, me too. Interestingly enough, the University of Sheffield in this varsity game already approaching their season average for the season. So a missed free throw there from Santa Claus. Hallam side enjoys that one. But for the season, this Sheffield side averaging 53 points per game. As it's two missed free throws there from Santa Claus.
Bit out of character.
But obviously on 49 points, they are approaching that margin.
Yeah, they
Sheffield
are.
Hallam a little bit further off. They've got 15 to go before they hit their average for the year.
Bit of a loose pass there.
Yeah, some sloppy turnovers at the minute. Both sides struggling to get into much of a rhythm. That is Amazaga Katia checking out there. And here comes Sheffield Hallam. A score here would make it a 2-possession game. Corner long 2, no good. Rebound, Bria Allen. Sheffield Hallam will have another opportunity. Jess Southwell stripped by Barragan Contreras. It's gone out of bounds. It is going to be a Sheffield Hallam ball. But great, fantastic timing. Fantastic timing.
Great defense, just to strip the ball just before she goes up for the layup. Fantastic.
Not an easy skill, that either. Jump ball. Who's it going to go to? Sheffield Hallam. And they will have it from the end line. It'll be Jess Southwell, club chairman, to put this one in the smack of the ball, and that's going to initiate that offense. Left Riadu trying to get open underneath the basket. The pass isn't there for her. Here's Bria Allen. Rashika to here inside. She approached the runner. Offensive rebound, Southwell. Stripped by Barragan.
The hustle continues. Fantastic.
Great bit of defense there as well. Uni of Sheffield seem to know how crucial this next minute of play is. Fantastic defense there. Ooh, nearly a collision. For 3, no good. That would have been a real momentum shift.
Yeah, that would have been.
We are getting to that crucial point of the game with time ticking down. Sorry.
Yeah, that would have really got everyone up on their feet.
We are getting to that point of crucial part of the game. University of Sheffield basketball. As the referee points.
Definitely getting scrappy now. Team's pretty nervous to make a mistake. because it is getting down to the wire.
Both understand how crucial this next period is going to be.
Massive.
It is a 3-point game. If Uni don't score and Hallam do, it's a 2-point game. Not 2-point, 2-possession game. Apologies. Which is always, I mean, it means you've got to get a score twice without them scoring in order to get back into this game. Whereas Sheffield Hallam will know that any sort of big play here from the University of Sheffield really could change the complexion of his last few minutes. 4-3, bang! That is a dagger from Becky Davidson. What a shot!
That was a massive three-pointer.
Absolutely massive. And that's a travel call for the University of Sheffield. Smart timeout there from Uni of. That's the timeout they needed. And they'll have 1 minute to talk it over then. So, not sure how long we've got left now. I think we're looking at about
just
2.5 minutes, yeah.
Oh, it is really coming down to that every possession counts moment, and that three was huge from Hallam.
Absolutely massive. What a shot from Becky Davidson. I think that may have been her first basket of the game, and what a time to get it. What a time to get it if it was. Massive shot.
I think in that last play we did see a little bit of frustration from Uniov actually.
Absolutely, yeah.
Definitely.
We did notice, I think particularly at the top there, we had the ball on the right wing. We had 4 players in that small space over there. The spacing not quite there. All of them wanting to, really get something to happen. And rather than maybe making something happen by creating space for someone else with an off-ball screen or such, they all wanted the ball themselves so they could maybe initiate something as well. A lot of space taken up, or very little space taken up by a lot of players.
Well, they all want it. They all want it. They die for the badge. You know what I mean? They all want to. Everyone wants to be here in this situation. If I was on the court, if you were on the court, everyone wants to score those big baskets. It's just a matter of who.
Back to the court we go. 2 minutes 40 on the clock. Sheffield Hallam with a chance to extend their 6-point lead. I left Riadu. She's been the hot hand all game. Bria Allen. Let it go. Oh, Becky Davidson not able to make a second. That would have put the game to bed. Deep pass, turnover. That's frustration, desperation setting in for Uni of here maybe now. 2 minutes 15 to go. They just need to calm down. It's not over. Still a 2-possession game. As that was a foul on the University of Sheffield, it will remain Sheffield Hallam basketball. Not long to go now until we know who our Varsity basketball champions are. Just Southwell. Again, I'm not eager to shoot that shot there. Big block. Ooh. Foul called. Again, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced on that one.
I don't know how much of the ball she got there, but
that looks like a clean one to me from here.
Yeah.
Maybe often we do find that when refs aren't sure and they see that chopping action of the hand coming down on the ball, they'll give the benefit of the doubt to the offensive team and will call a foul there. But I think she was right next to them, so she has a better view than I did. But I'm not sure. Jess Southwell, who hasn't really made a jump shot type shot yet. She's missed both her free throws earlier, but makes the last one there. That makes it 7. That's the 3-possession game with 2 minutes to go.
Uniov have got to get something going here if they want to get back
Michaela
into this.
Forces the shot up. She's really going for it. Just needs to get the ball out there. I think Uniov may be too determined to be the one to win this game or to pull it back for this team.
Massive steal there, though.
Barragan Contreras. Double dribble call. That's the turnover. 1 minute 30 to go. Could that one be the nail in the coffin?
That is a very, very... There's been 2 very costly turnovers. The pass and the double dribble there. Not good.
I'm sure we'll see Sheffield Hallam take their time with this one now just to milk that clock away. That's a turnover. That's another turnover for Sheffield Hallam. That's a travel that time from Becky Davidson. But any time taken off the clock is good time for Sheffield Hallam at this stage of the game. Up by 7. Good bit of patience here from University of Sheffield. Backs down, and Santa Claus gets the score. It's a 5-point game. And did we maybe call it too early? Still a minute to go.
They dried up a little bit on offence, and
certainly not in the bag yet for Sheffield Hallam. But there you are. See, they're moving the ball slowly. She's taking some time off the clock there. Shot. Wow! Becky Davidson makes her second of the half. The second of the final 3 minutes.
Now that is a dagger and a half.
That's a dagger. That is a game-sealing shot. Santa Claus does get inside. Oh, and she misses her layup.
And that.
I left Ria do 30 seconds left on the clock. They're just going to try and take up as much time as possible here. Wow. What an ending to this game for Sheffield Hallam. Shouts of Hallam coming from the other side of the stadium. And they won't be able to add any more on. But 59 total for Sheffield Hallam. Not quite hitting that 67-point average that they've managed throughout the year. Credit to a solid defensive performance from the University of Sheffield for really making this a game through all 4 quarters. But the better side showed up when it counted. 5 seconds to go. And that's the game. Sheffield Hallam University Women's Ones are the varsity champions. A great result for the team, a fantastic late push to seal it. What a finale. And we'll throw it back to your presenting team then to wrap up the presentation and move us on to the men's teams.
What a second half for Hallam that was. A turnaround and a half. That was a 15-point turnaround, winning by 8 points in the end, 59-51. What did you think of that second half?
Well, it was a tale of turnovers, unfortunately, for the Uni of Sheffield. 2 very, very costly ones towards the end, indeed. A misplaced pass, and then I believe it was a two-handed dribble that caused the turnover, and those were key as Hallam went and punished. 3 points. 3-pointers were really key for Hallam today, and that one was massive in the stretch.
Yeah, that was one thing I have to say I noticed. Those 3-pointers really proved to be the difference. Now, Uni of obviously on paper are not necessarily as good of a side as Hallam, and I think that was proven by the 3-pointers, right? That accurate shooting. One thing that you would have to say that Hallam were criticised for in that first half was their inaccuracy in their shooting. But that second half, they not only improved it, they just went to another level. We talked about in that at the end of the first half, right? Could Hallam go to that next level? And I'm pretty sure they did. Do you think they did?
Well, as you said during the interval, we were saying that Hallam, they take those shots, they're going to punish them. And they took those 3-point shots, they made the turnovers count, and that is what has counted down the stretch and has been the difference maker in this one. And unfortunately for Uni of Sheff, they just didn't quite have it in the tank. They just maybe panicked a bit, maybe they were a bit nervous because it's a high stakes, big pressure game, but yeah, they made the costly mistakes in the end, and as we said at half time, Hallam, make those threes, you'll punish them. They got the opportunities, and this time they did.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the crowd also played a big factor. Hallam's crowd just got louder and louder and louder as that game went on. And you could see the belief in Hallam's eyes, right? And you could see it on the bench, the belief on the bench. In that first half, you could see their faces. It was like, what do we do? What do we do? But they seemed to come out in that second half, and the belief just kept growing and growing and growing. And I mean, you could see that in their play, right? That belief coming through.
Yeah, I think the main thing, a massive thing, was Vanessa Ellis must have made a big tweak to move them to shooting outside the arc, because their inside stuff wasn't really working, but shooting threes, they were fantastic, and they became very efficient. Even from the free throw line, they started becoming a lot more efficient. Hallam and Uniov, they did play really well and had a lot of free throws in, had a lot of good inside moves, but they just fell up short, and that's unfortunately sums up a lot of their season, I think.
It really does, it really, really does. And that is another win for Hallam as well. Uniov, unfortunately for them, just haven't been able to get that elusive win. This is another time where they just haven't managed to do it. They've fallen necessarily at that final hurdle. I think this was probably one of the closest bouts between the two, and you could just see that a mile off, right? There was such a close bout. And I think it was such a shame. I think they need to feel proud of themselves, Uniov, for what they did and managing to hold on to that lead for so long. But that Hallam quality was just another level. Now we are going to be joined by the Hallam captain herself right after getting the win. Come and join us. You must be so pleased with that victory.
Yes, I am. Yeah, we were definitely worried. Last time we played and we only won by 4 points, so we knew it was going to be a tough game. But we hustled, we brought back the win. So yeah.
Yeah, that first half, Uniov just kept pipping you at that final post. Did you ever at any point feel like that game was possibly going away from you?
Oh yeah, definitely. They were getting a lot of rebounds. We weren't. At times they were working harder than us, but we talked together as a team and got together, got them rebounds back.
One thing we say we had to have noticed was those 3-pointers. They seem to be absolutely vital. Is that something that you purposely go out of your way to practice?
Yeah, so they was clogging in the middle, so there was just no way to drive. So we just said, pass it around, and there'll be that open person, which was Becky in the end, and she got those vital threes for us at the end. So yeah.
And we saw on that bench there seems to be a real harmony between you girls. You just seem to really understand each other, really bond together. And would you say that comes through on the pitch, on and off of it?
Yeah, definitely. We're a really close-knit team on and off the court, and you can tell it showed. So yeah.
Well, I'll let you go and enjoy the celebrations and enjoy the win with your team. Thank you ever so much for joining us.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, an incredible victory for Hallam there, and that does move us swiftly on to the men's. Now, I have to say that the men's is a very similar story to the women's. They've never won. This is a victory. A victory for Uniov will be massive, absolutely massive. And it will be the same story. It's very odd that you'd have a men's and a women's game and both have a very similar story. How do you foresee this one going?
Well, it's not looking good for Uniov, basically. I mean, Hallam are top of the Northern Division. They're in the Bucks League. They've been playing fantastic. They've got the 3rd best record in England, in fact. And Uniov are sitting towards the bottom of the pile in the Bucks League as it stands and as it finished. And that's unfortunate for them, but I think it's a different day today. It's Varsity, it's a derby. Anything can happen. They're closing the gap, I think, Uniov. It showed today with the women's. I think the men's will see quite a bit of quite a good showing from the Uniov men's today, actually.
Yeah, it's funny that you mention it. Obviously, Varsity being such an occasion and such an event. We have seen in many of the other sports, no matter who the favourite is, it seems to be close and close every time. Not many games really have you seen someone pull away, especially in the first. Every time the first seem to play each other, it seems to be very tight-knit, very close, and the crowd seem to cheer everyone up, and it really does go to those final couple of minutes. Now, the seconds actually played earlier on today, and men's Uniov team won by 26 points, so you could argue that even though that Hallam are the favourites for this, could momentum be on Uniov's side?
I think with the result for the seconds, obviously, Uniov, the men's team, they've done really well there, but I don't think that affects this first. I think it's a different ball game. We're seeing 2 very, very high-level basketball teams go toe-to-toe here, and as he said, Hallam have performed very well this season in Bucks, and Unfortunately, there's nothing going in the favour of Uniov right now, unfortunately. But as you said, anything can happen. It's a derby day. It's a rivalry. Uniov have taken a lot of the silverware, so to speak, home already. So I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, definitely. And for those of you at home, have obviously probably noticed that things are running a bit later today. The volleyball ended up being so close that things did run over. So we would expect, I would say, this game to start kicking off in the next 10-15 minutes. Just for those of you at home that are probably turning over and expecting to see the game already going. It's not for other reasons, obviously, but I think that only adds to the drama, right? That does only add to the drama. Now, Uniov and Hallam played each other a couple of weeks ago. It wasn't even that long ago that they first played each other, and that game was really close, going into overtime, and there only being a 7 points difference. Do you see possibly overtime coming into play here today?
Well, as you said, it was a very, very tight game last time out, and it was a lot more recent than some of the other varsity teams have played each other. So they'll have an idea of what each other are bringing to the table definitely today. So they both have a bit of a scout on each side, if you like. But I think that 7 point loss, although it was a loss for Uniov, it showed a very, 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 very big improvement. And I think they'll be looking forward to today's game massively and trying to cause a big upset.
Yeah, it will be a massive upset. It would be a first live on our coverage if Uniov managed to get that win. Now, a big problem I'd say for Uniov is, by the sounds of it, they don't really have that standout player. They don't have someone that everyone would go, do you know what? That's the difference maker. But as we have seen in many other sports, in basketball, it's a team game, and like if there's ever a team game, basketball is the one. You can't ever score a basket without your teammates by your side. No one person could dominate a match. So maybe that harmony, maybe that not having a star player, not having any egos possibly, do you think that could possibly be a thing that is in Uniov's favour today?
Oh yeah, I think you got your Michael Jordans, your Steph Currys, all of them, massive superstars, but they also have a great team around them. They all have a really good bond, really good unity, and not to compare it to the NBA, but these players, they don't need a standout player. They perform as a team, and that is the most important thing at the end of the day. If they can communicate, if they can pass it around, make some open looks, make some open layups, then they could do anything. They don't need the standout player, Uniov.
Yeah, definitely. And they play two very different styles as well. Uniov playing a much slower pace. I think it was more methodical. Slow sometimes sounds, I think, like a negative point of view. It's really not. It's more methodical. They really think about each and every pass. Whereas Hallam are very fast paced, and that is because they ooze that confidence. Obviously, having those connections to the Sheffield Sharks is massive. Yeah. Now, we saw how that played dividends in the first game with the women. Do you think that could be a massive factor in the men's as well?
Well, if you have the quality of coaching, if you put more funding into it, if you're better overall facilities, you're obviously going to have a better chance of winning it. But I don't think that plays a massive part with the heart we're going to see on display today. Obviously, there'll be difference in quality, and unfortunately, that for Uni of Sheff for the women's that did show, but. I think for the men's here, I think it's a different ball game. I think everyone's going to be really up for it. I think it's going to be as tight as the women's one, but I think Uni of Sheff have even more of a chance in this one actually.
Yeah, definitely, and those 3-pointers as well. Like that is something you see over and over again with those turnovers, right? Turnovers are a thing that really, like in that first game. Like that was what made the difference, right? Is those turnovers. Now, Hallam are very, very good at their 3 points by the sounds of things, with Uniov not being so. Now that could be a huge factor, and that's got to be something they must have practiced, right? Uniov, if they're not so good at the thing that could make them win the match, you would have to imagine they would have practiced it, right?
Oh yeah, I'd love to see great perimeter defense from Uniov today. If Hallam are going to be pressing the threes, spreading the floor, I want to see Uni pressing high, making sure that those looks come inside rather than on the outside of the arc. because that'll be the way they make it difficult for Hallam, especially with their fast pace, moving the ball around, making open looks kind of basketball. But again, on the fast break, their fast pace might catch up to Uniov, and I think turnovers, again, as we saw in the women's, will be costly, because if Hallam keep up this quick tempo basketball and Uniov can't keep up with it, especially on turnovers, that is going to prove costly in the long run.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like when you are talking about basketball, there is one man who knows a lot more than I think either of us combined. Yeah. So if Harry could join us here, take your commentary headset off yet. If you could join us over here and just give it on this side, just over here. Now, is there anything that you would say that we haven't touched upon that could really play a factor into this game?
Well, I mean, both the men's sides played very recently. Quite a close game, arguably. Not arguably, it was. But one thing that I think is good to look out for is if the University of Sheffield start this game well, it will be very interesting to see how Hallam react. They have a history so far in the Buck season when playing against weaker opponents, and it's not entirely going to plan to maybe start to panic. And we saw that earlier this month, 16th of March, at Goodwin Sports Centre, and that is something I think is likely to be a turning point if Uniov can force Hallam to play that panic basketball.
Yeah, we saw in the women's game, right, that Hallam looked under pressure a lot of the time. Would you say that in the men's game, would you have to say it's more important in the panic is more prevalent in the men's?
I mean, panic in any sort of basketball isn't good for you. Everything you do has to be methodical. You know, it's a fast-paced game, and for the average casual viewer, you may be thinking, what on earth is going on? It's also fast-paced. How are they choosing what to do like that? But that's all something that comes, and any panic in a fast-paced basketball game like we often see is costly, no matter whether it's men's or women's.
Well, thank you ever so much for your insight. We'll put you back to your commentary desk before the game gets underway. So thank you so much for appearing here, and get back to your commentary desk before we pass over to you, which will be happening ever so shortly. You probably heard the buzzer behind us telling us that in any second now the games will be getting underway. Now, obviously, we saw the harmony on those benches, right? Now, would you say that a captain would be an important person on that bench, like to cheer up those teams when they were on those down slopes? The captain's got to be important, right?
Yeah, obviously the captain, the big vocal leader, makes a big difference to any bench, to any team. But I think something we're missing is going to be the fans today. The fans get behind either team. Lots of Uniov here, lots of Hallam, and it could get a bit rowdy, it could get a bit leery, you never know.
Well, yeah, we started to see at the end of the women's game, didn't we? A lot of the crowd jeers as the three-pointers were being thrown. I think we are going to see a lot more, like more and more people have come into the ground. I would have to say that we're going to see a lot more jeers from, I think, the first whistle, right, today.
Yeah, it's gonna be carnage in both those sets of fans. If a big basket goes in, a dunk even, I want to see some dunks today. I don't know about you. I want to see some big dunks, some big three-pointers. I want to see some athleticism on show.
Yeah, I want to see some real quality stuff that we've heard that both of these sides can produce some great stuff, right? Especially Hallam. I know we keep talking about the quality of Hallam, but that has to be the talking point, right? Definitely. This is a classic underdog story if Uniov can manage to win this game, but it's not out the waters. Like, this is going to be close. Harry obviously told us earlier that this is going to be a close game and likely to be a close game. And I think the players on the pitch know that on the court, know that this is going to be a great game and a really, really close one as well. And you could see the worry on a few of their faces, can't you?
There's nerves. But understandably, there's nerves. You know what I mean?
There is a lot of nerves on those benches as they're clapping away. Now, without further ado, what we'll do is we'll hand you over to the commentary team for the first quarter and the first half, and we'll see you at half-time. Harry, take it away.
Thank you very much, guys. Welcome back to the English Institute of Sport. We are back for men's basketball. And I am optimistic this is going to be a cracking game. As mentioned already, this is not a game that the University of Sheffield have ever won before. And I know that it's one that, Greg Unwin from Sports Sheffield, this is the one that he wants. In filming for the Varsity documentary from Forge TV last summer, our replacement for the Varsity coverage then, this is the one that he told us in an interview that he wants to win, something they've never won before, something that they hope to do see. Statistically, this should be a walkaway for Sheffield Hallam. I'm joined once again by Hugh Richard, by the way. But yes, so Hugh, statistically, this should be a walkaway. Arguably speaking, based on the numbers, the University of Sheffield are the worst team in the Northern Division 1, and Sheffield Hallam won that division. So, statistically speaking, this should be a walk in the park for Sheffield Hallam. But obviously their most recent game proved that it may not be.
Oh yeah, I think any rival game, when it comes down to it, it's going to be tight, and I don't see a lot of walkovers in rival games unless it's Man City against Man United type thing. But I think today there is obviously a massive gulf in quality, but I do think, based on especially the previous result took them to overtime, we're going to see a lot tighter contest.
Yeah. So and that's we will actually focus on the action now. It is 1-0 for Sheffield Hallam. The score coming from Tyler Lister, the number 18 at the rim. Your starting five for Sheffield Hallam. Number 24, Max Watts, club chairman, is in the game. Obviously, Tyler Lister, the number 18. We also have Teo Mead-Bramble, the number 7. Number 6, we have Miles Victory, club captain, who's just turned the ball over there. And we also have number 5, Hamza Ibrahim, in for Sheffield Hallam. For the University of Sheffield, Alexander Cooper, the number 4, and Pradeep Fernandez are your two guardmen. Captain Charlie Ratliff is in the middle, number 15. And we also have Cameron Savage, the number 7, and Cherno Kamara, the number 11, in for the University of Sheffield. Tyler Lister's 3 off the mark. Here comes Pradeep Fernandez. Finds Charlie Ratliff. He's going to try and fight his way inside. Finds Kamara. That's out of bounds. It's University of Sheffield ball. So straight off the bat, University of Sheffield trying to attack the rim. Is that something we maybe expected today?
Yeah, I think you got those big men inside. Watts the captain, and Kamara as well. Massive guys in the P there, and you got to use that. You got to use your height. You got to try and bully inside. They've definitely got a little bit of a height advantage in there, a little bit. Inside
for Kamara. Straight away using that height advantage we just mentioned, particularly in these starting 5 units. There is a definite height advantage to the University of Sheffield. Obviously, we do have players like Courtney Alexander on the bench for Sheffield Hallam, a very, very tall man. Spinning into the lane. Oh, what a block from Cherno Kamara. Here comes Sheffield on the break. Oh, and the pass from Fernandez is not good enough. What a block that was from Kamara.
That is the kind of plays that are going to swing momentum for Uniov's favour. That is a massive block.
We saw that kind of a play a lot in their game a couple of weeks ago on the 16th of March.
That's a real tone setter.
A massive tone setter, and he'll be looking to do that a lot. I think he had at least 4 of those on the 16th when they played at Goodwin Sports Centre. Kicks it outside. The 3 no good. Offensive rebound. And the score is in. I think that was Tyler Lister again. That's his second basket. 4 points for him, 4 points for Sheffield Hallam. Here's Kamara. Ratliff. And that's the push. That's going to be 2 shots for Kamara.
He's really getting stuck in early, isn't Kamara? Really trying to set the tone for Uniov.
He loves to get stuck in. He's the kind of player you just plug in and let him go to work. He's going to go to the line for the first free throws of the game. If I'm remembering correctly, because I went to see their last matchup a couple of weeks ago. I don't think the free throw shooting was something that Kamara was super comfortable with. But he has made his first.
There you go.
Again, setting a good tone.
Yeah. Even with the Hallam Ultras trying to put him off.
Something we see a lot from Hallam in their Bucks games this season. They like to make some noise, put off these free throw shooters. And that one doesn't go down. Rebound Sheffield Hallam with Hamza Ibrahim. Here's Miles Victory in the corner. Max Watts, club chairman. Into the lane. No good. It goes out to Max Watts. Lister driving into the lane. That's a steal from Kamara. He's all over the place. Offense and defense given away, though, by the University.
Did get a bit handsy.
A foul call there. A little bit too much contact from Alexander Cooper for the University of Sheffield. That will go to Sheffield Hallam. It'll be Watts on the end line. Here's Tyler Lister, pulls up from the elbow. No good, but he is fouled on the jump shot. That's a foul on Kamara. Obviously 4 fouls and then you're fouled out. He's had a big impact so far. Uni will be hoping that that's going to be the only one of this first half potentially.
Yeah, see, that's the danger with his physical game. He's a beast in there, and you got to be careful because that could lead to fouls easily. Ref, it could not be on your side, and you could get fouled out quite easily, especially with 4 fouls fouling you out.
That's a made free throw from Tyler Lister. That's 5 points for him, 5 points for the University of Sheffield. Woos from the University of Sheffield side of the field, court. And he's made both.
Lister really enjoying the ball in his hands at the moment, you have to say. He's hot.
Oh, and the fake from Fernandez is no good. Rebound Kamara. And it's gone out of bounds. It's going to be University of... Oh, no, Sheffield Hallam University ball. I thought the referee was going to point the other way there. But it is Sheffield Hallam University ball. Nice bit of hustle there from Uniov. Here's Lister again, the only point scorer for Sheffield Hallam in this game. Max Watts for 3. Bang! The club chairman's on the board. And that puts Hallam up by 6. This opening, strikingly similar to the start of their game to end the Bucks season. The one that went to overtime, a good start for Sheffield Hallam, but it just took Uniov a little while to get into the game. We may see this again later, or this could be a sign of things to come so far. Pradine Fernandez blocked by Miles Victory, and here comes Tyler Lister. Oh, and he's blown the dunk! Rebound Hallam. And Mead Bramble goes crashing into the jeweler signs on the sideline.
You love to see him go for it, though.
You do love to see them go for it. That is the kind of heart and hustle that we love.
Fantastic.
Timeout. Now, as we head into this first timeout of the game, let's compare these teams. Obviously, we already mentioned at the start of the quarter the difference in terms of statistical supremacy in Bucks Northern Tier 1. Obviously, the key thing here is that Sheffield men's ones, Uniov men's ones, have never won a varsity basketball game. In terms of their chances, obviously we know that they like to turn up against Hallam at times. Obviously they did lose by 20 earlier in the year, but only lost by 7 at the start of March. So they do like to turn it up when it counts against Sheffield Hallam. However, statistically speaking, in terms of points per game and opponent points per game, Sheffield men's ones rank dead last in Northern Tier 1. Is that concerning in this particular game for you?
Oh, it's a damning stat when you're playing against the cream of the crop, the top of the division. You know, you can't sugarcoat it really. There's no other way to look about it. They are completely underdogs in this one. The stats are just not in their favour. They're going to need some special performances from some key players tonight, because Hallam have showed week in, week out in this Bucks League that they can produce.
We have seen one personnel change coming out of that timeout for the University of Sheffield. Lamar Darian Campbell, the number 9, has checked in, which I believe, can't quite tell who that sent to the bench. Cameron Savage, that sent Cameron Savage to the bench. Offensive rebound for Miles Victory. Oh, and that is Captain Charlie Ratliff. I think he's been whacked under the belt there. He's been hit under the belt. That's not a great one
You don't like
for
to see
Uni
that.
of. He's a dominant presence down low. And that is the risk when you jump, I guess. Obviously,
down low there. Yeah.
Miles' victory got him in the air, and we love to see the handshake as the two come together, but that is going to send Captain Charlie Ratliff to the bench. That is some key height to the bench early. Hopefully we'll see him back in the game as the applause comes up from the University of Sheffield side. Seeing the men's captain walk off, but he is evidently in pain. He got in the air. Miles' victory got him in the air, and it was just as victory was then going up for his shot. He clearly seemed to catch Ratliff below the belt there.
Yeah.
Obviously not intentional, but not something you like to see.
Yeah, it's just going to be a bit of a winding. He'll be back out there in no time, I'm sure. He wants to play in this game.
Now the offensive rebound off of the free throw was no good as Max Watts throws it away. A little bit of miscommunication there with Ibrahim, the number 5, and it went the wrong way. A 5-second violation for the University of Sheffield. This full court press we just saw just there, obviously Sheffield Hallam deciding to defend in what we call the back court.
Yeah.
Obviously as Sheffield was supposed to be going forward, the other half will be the front court, the back court their own, caught there by this front court press, not really sure what to do with it, and it was a turnover, of course.
Well, we were talking about the fast pace of Hallam before, and if they are setting the tone here, they're putting the pressure on early, and as we said about Uniov's slightly slower game, you might see that's already cropped up with that 5-second violation on the inbound.
We have seen Pradeep Fernandez go to the bench there for Harry Selick. Ooh, Watts with the air ball. But he's getting straight into it, getting stuck in as Sheffield Hallam. This full court press coming. And another change here. That's going to be Peter Wallet checking in for Max Watts. So the air ball sends him to the bench in the eyes of the coach, as he'll sit down on the end. The inbound complete to Alexander Cooper this time. No violation as he gets the screen from Kamara. They need to get it over the line though, and they do. Here's Hull. Big score from Hull. Nice and strong. Nathan Hull, the number 13, getting his first points of the game. And Uni of Sheffield now on 5, but trail by 5.
Yeah, he really bullied his way into the paint there, made his presence known. Lovely basket there.
And now we see Tyler Lister go to the bench for Titus Bazzinis, the number 4. Down low, and a made score there. That's Teo Mead-Bramble off to the races with his first points of the game. The closed fist from Alexander Cooper calling this first play. Darian Campbell trying to go baseline on
Right, stuck in.
Bazzinis. Spins inside, but gets his shot blocked. Here's Mead-Bramble.
Oh, Kamara again.
Good bit of defense. Miles' victory caught under the rim. Does get it out. And it's Bazzinis in the corner. No good.
Airball.
Kamara with the rebound. It is an air ball as we get shouts from the University of Sheffield side of the stadium. Alexander Cooper throwing up a wild one. Does get the ball back, but gets it. Ooh. And a foul call there. I believe that's going to be on Miles' victory. We'll just wait for the referee to show the table. I'm not sure. I thought he showed the number 3 there, but there isn't a number 3 on the court. Hallam don't even have a number 3, so I'm unsure who that one was on. I think it was Miles' victory, as Alexander Cooper makes his first. And that's him on the board points-wise. And makes his second 2.
Great celebrations from the Sheffield firm there.
Finds Bazzinis. And he makes his shot.
Is that his first of the
maybe
game?
around 8 feet out, I think that one.
Is that his first of the game?
That is his first of the game, yes.
Good way to start.
Here's Harry Selick. Picks the ball up, it's dead. Great pressure here from Mead Bramble. But Sheffield retain possession. Here's Nathan Hull looking for his second basket. That goes all the way over as well. Don't know if there's a bit of a windy draft in the hall here. Oh, and he's blown the layup!
Blown the layup there. He'll be disappointed with that one, though.
He'll be disappointed with him that one. I think he almost couldn't decide as he was going up there whether he was going to dunk it or lay it in.
I thought he was going for a slam.
And he's cost him. Indecisiveness there from Teo Mead Bramble.
He won't want to watch that one back.
He will not, no. Ibrahim heads to the bench. And we have had Ignas Kalusevicius. No, sorry, Klusevicius. Checking in. For Sheffield Hallam. There's Nathan Hull, he's on the board again. 5-point game again. Trading baskets later on in this first quarter. Obviously, Sheffield Hallam will be more than happy with trading baskets because it means their lead remains. And that's a stop. Charlie Ratliff back in the game, actually, I've just noticed. Recovering from his whack. And he is back in the game.
Yeah, just
ready to lead his side.
Be all right.
It will be Uni of ball. Sheffield Hallam moving away from that full court press now. They are out in man-to-man defence though. I think we've seen both teams out in man-to-man so far. As Ratliff goes inside looking for Cooper. Cooper can't hit. That was a tough shot, hanging in the air, but good defence from Watts for Sheffield Hallam. Back out to Watts, that's deep, he had a look there. Berzini's for three. Bang!
Botch.
Sheffield Hallam on the board with their, I believe, first three of the game. And they lead by 8.
Oh, I saw him practicing those earlier in the other court, and
yeah, we watched him warming up, didn't we? Don't think he made one we were watching though.
yeah, he was so.
But now in front of
get
the
them
big
out
crowd.
The way. Yeah, now you got to perform. He performs. That's all that matters.
And Watts bringing the ball up for Sheffield Hallam. Here's the captain, Victory. That's a travel that the ref has just missed right in front of him. Wallet. He wants the screen. He gets the screen. We'll kick it back out to Victory. Victory will now drive. He's going to go down low. He couldn't find Klusevicius. And there's going to be a turnover. The opportunity for Sheffield Uni on this possession to break into double digit scoring. Obviously on 9 currently.
Yeah,
now I think they'd like to get into double digits before the quarter's out. As Hallam captain Miles Victory goes to the bench. And we see Luke Rocket, the number 12, check in. And he'll be picking up Nathan Hull on defence. As Hallam stick with their man-to-man. Selick inside to the Ratliff, the captain. The double triple team coming. Here's Nathan Hull. Bang! From about the free throw line. And a big pass forward to Max Watts. He's going to move it around. Peter Wallet gets the man in the air. Kicks it out to the corner. Here's Luke Rocky. He made one in warm-ups. Hasn't made his first one yet. And that's going to be a turnover. It's going to go University of Sheffield way. Hallam coach protesting otherwise. He thought he was going to go the other way. And I'm not sure what he was looking at because I think we're watching the same game and I was fairly certain that was Uni of Sheffield.
Oh, he's not happy there in the tracksuit, is he? Not at all. Very smart, the Uni of Chef coach, in shirt and trousers there.
It's interesting to see how people choose to dress themselves, isn't it, on the sideline? Obviously, University of Sheffield going for the shirt option. Sheffield Hallam going for the tracksuit option. The coaches, that is. Plenty of offensive rebounds, and the University of Sheffield will go to the free throw line. That's going to be Darian Campbell taking his first free throws of the game. I feel like we've kind of hit almost a bit of a stagnant point in this last 2-minute period.
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen a lot of points coming from either side. University of Sheffield maybe needing a big play to kick-start them here. They have struggled offensively. That is something we know they struggle with consistently this season, is the offensive side, obviously ranking dead last in Sheffield Division 1 in points per game. Not Sheffield Division 1, sorry, Bucks Division 1, Northern Division 1.
It's just got a bit scrappy here. Not the quality's dipped a little bit in this last couple minutes, and it reflects, as you said, in the lack of scoring.
Well, Darian Campbell made 1 free throw. It's cut the lead now to 5. We're back to 5. Bazzini's takes the cross, shoots the 3, is no good. And that's a foul called over the back there. So a little bit too eager to grab the rebound there was Ignas Klusevicius. And they call him for the foul. That's going to be Corley Alexander checking in now for Klusevicius. Clearly the coach thinking we're gonna save him for later on. Corley Alexander checking in the number 8. Definitely going to be, I'm quite confident, the tallest man on the court today. Maybe not. Maybe Charlie Ratliff has that honour. But definitely the tallest guy on this Sheffield Hallam roster. Very strong. I've seen him play in local leagues. Very strong. Likes to get physical. Grabs a lot of rebounds, as we've just seen there. But not great shooter. So we'll be hoping to stay off the free throw line and not forcing himself to take some jump shots today.
He's a big lad.
Peter Wallet inside. The foul is called.
Him and Watt marking each other, very similar size. Big battle in the paint, that massive battle. But not just the rebounds, but the scores inside as well. That's going to be a massive battle this game.
That foul there on Andrew Burkill-Dunn for the University of Sheffield. He checked in recently. Cameron Savage came back in. He's the number 7. And he missed the first, did Peter Wallet. Makes the second. It's a 6-point game, 18 to 12, as you can see on your screens. Full court press is back for Sheffield Hallam University. Max Watts guarding Pradi Fernandez for the full distance of the court. Fernandez into the lane. Oh, and it's good. What a lovely shot. Ratliff hits the deck as he went for the rebound as well, but it wasn't needed. Fernandez flicks it up and in. What a lovely score. It's a 4-point game now. Watts drive denied by Fernandez. Here's Alexander. Bazzini's will get the screen. The roll from Corny Alexander. He's going to try and go to work here. Couldn't. That's a double dribble call on Corny Alexander. We did see in their game a couple of weeks ago a hell of a lot of travel calls on Alexander. It was he had quite a few turnovers in that sense. Something he'll be hoping to limit today. Obviously, a double dribble call there, so not quite a travel, but still results in the same thing, a turnover, and it's University of Sheffield ball.
Yeah, he'll definitely want to limit the turnovers today, not just for himself, but his team in this massive occasion in the varsity game.
Ball's loose, and it comes up with Titus Bazzini's. Shot goes up, it's no good. That's the end of the first quarter. Sheffield Hallam holding on to a 4-point lead. They'll have a short break, but we'll keep you with us in the commentary booth. And what an interesting first quarter. A completely different game to the women's game that we saw, obviously. It was very one-dimensional for both women's teams, really, at this point in the first quarter. Obviously, in the women's game, you had Eleanor Michaela scoring off the bench quite regularly for Sheffield University, whereas Sheffield Hallam were led, well, really all game, but particularly in that first quarter by Maria Alefta-Riadu. And we're not really seeing that in this game. Obviously, I think we've had a couple scores from Tyler Lister for Sheffield Hallam. We've had a couple scores from Nathan Hill for University of Sheffield, but no one really standing out. It's been a solid all-around game for both sides, but obviously Sheffield Hallam on top right now.
Yeah, we were talking about star players prior to the game starting, and I think, especially with Uniov, it's shown they're trying to just dish the ball around. They can't. As they said, they don't have that star player, and they've got to spread the ball around in order to get baskets. But yeah, Hallam have done very well so far, I think, and limited, I would say, Uniov's chances in multiple senses, not just on the fast break, but then also just defending the perimeter and inside. They've been pretty good.
Yeah, and well, we can go back to this game that we saw recently. We'll come back to it again. I'm gonna really milk this game statistics-wise, but it was a cracking game. It went to overtime, as we said, but it was very close. It was very close all the way through, and it was tied, a tied game at the end of the fourth quarter, and I believe with less than 10 seconds to go, we had free throws that went the University of Sheffield's way. A chance for the team to win it, but Pradeep Fernandez missed them both. It went to overtime and they lose. Is it going to be crucial for them to capitalise on these free throw opportunities today to make sure they stay in this game?
Yeah, definitely. They've done well to stay in the game so far, but I think the free throws, if they as they've been trying to do, get it inside. And Kamara's coming back in now. He's been really good on the inside. Just to get to the line and make sure those free throws count, because as we said with the golf inequality, you've got to make those little things count.
We do. Players back on the court for the second quarter here then. As we say, 4-point lead to Sheffield Hallam, and they'll start us off. Here's Mead Bramble. Your 5 to start the second quarter for Sheffield Hallam. Mead Bramble, Peter Wallet, Titus Bazinis, Ignas Klusevicius, and of course Hamza Ibrahim. University of Sheffield, I believe, with the same 5 they went out with. That's Cameron Savage, Charlie Ratliff, Pradeep Fernandez, who gets lost inside, and he's hurt himself there. He's in pain. He's not feeling good. Was that another whacking below the belt? What's happened there?
That's what I'm thinking.
Might have been a finger.
Thomas.
I'm not sure. But he seems okay. A little stop just to make sure he was all right, but we're going to continue.
He seems all right.
Pradeep Fernandez bringing the ball up for Sheffield. Down by 6, looking for something in the second quarter to really get their offense going. They've not been totally consistent so far, and that's a travel from Charlie Ratliff. And that's not going to help their fight to have a more consistent offense in this game, is it?
Yeah, especially from the captain, you need to lead by example, don't you? And he can't be making little mistakes like that in such a big game.
Got himself lost there as he tried to rotate round. Oh, and Bazzini's 3 just comes out. It was no good, and it's going to go to Sheffield Hallam. So the defensive rebound ricocheting out. Bazzini's inside. That's a foul call on Charlie Ratliff. And Klusevicius is going to go to the free throw line for his first foul shots of the game, as Alexander Cooper checks in for the University of Sheffield, replacing Andrew Burkill-Dunn, who will go to the bench. And I believe that means we're back with our starting 5 for the University of Sheffield. We're back with our starting 5. Do you think that's a choice then to maybe put your quality players on the court and maybe push forward while we've still got some bench guys in for Sheffield Hallam?
Yeah, definitely. When you got the bench guys in and you're in a deficit, you're going to try and pick up some points and decrease that lead that Hallam have. And I think Cooper has been fantastic so far today. Really led the team from point guard position.
Corley Alexander checking in for Klusevicius again as he goes to the bench. Maybe a matchups choice, that one, obviously with the very tall Charlie Ratliff in the game for University of Sheffield with that starting lineup. Yeah. Maybe the head coach thinking he just wanted a little bit more height to go in there, and that's why Alexander's on the court.
Definitely, he wants a bit more he wants even more height in that middle of the key.
Waller gets the screen from Alexander. The pick and roll nearly there. Oh, and he slips over. That's going to be a travel. Oh, and he's hurt himself there, though. That's the ankle that Corny Alexander's gone to. I hope he's okay. It was a slip there, I think. He had the ball underneath, obviously. The pass wasn't great from Peter Waller, which obviously wouldn't have helped him. Limping off the court, he's got some support from his teammates. Round of applause from both sides of the court.
You don't like to see a player get injured like that, especially in a game like this.
No, not ideal at all. Hopefully we'll see him back. Very emotional on the bench. He's upset about that. Yeah. And Luke Rocket has checked in to take his place. Now that is a height matchup, as you can see there. Charlie Ratliff being guarded by Luke Rocket.
He needs to take advantage of that big time. Captain needs to start leading by example. for Uni of.
Cameron Savage for 3. No good. Off the back iron. Peter Waller comes up with a rebound for Sheffield Hallam. Inside, Ibrahim is fouled. Oh, and he's gone down as well. That's another injury for Sheffield Hallam. A funny landing after the foul. He's not pleased with that one. This is not good. This one looks bad.
Yeah, he looks in some pain down there.
Still on the floor. We hope he's okay. Just off past the baseline, underneath the University of Sheffield basket. Teammates around him. Some Hallam medical and coaching staff around him as well, just trying to make sure he's okay. But obviously they can't get going again while he's on that end line. That's just not safe. So we are waiting for now, just to see if he's okay, see if he can get himself out of the way. But first and foremost, we do want him to be all right. So while we are waiting then, let's talk some statistics then. Obviously, Sheffield Hallam is a really, really strong side. That will be a big loss for them, Ibrahim. And he is making his way off. He's not using that left leg at all. He's almost hopping along, being carried by some friends as he'll go to the bench. That's 2 guys, actually. We'll come back to the stats later. That's 2 guys on the bench now in a matter of a minute with some ankle injuries potentially. That does look a sore one for both of them. Both of them on the bench, nursing those legs. And the referee's trying to get us back underway then.
But it won't just be frustrating for the 2 lads. They'll be very disappointed if they can't re-enter this game because of how big it is and, you know, the calibre of it. And you don't want to see injuries like that, especially at this level.
No, you don't. But injuries that could prove quite crucial in this game.
Yeah,
obviously, as we say, we don't want to see players go out injured, but the University of Sheffield won't be happy. But they won't be totally sad either, will they? Because that's 2 quite clear contributors. Obviously, Ibrahim, a fantastic player. In the game a few weeks ago, a big momentum player for them. Lots of highlight plays in the second half that really helped that team stay ahead. Obviously, they didn't in the end. They went to overtime, but they really helped that team. And Courtney Alexander, that big body for Sheffield Hallam, really primed the main guy to go up against Charlie Ratliff for University of Sheffield. And both of them are out the game. That could be crucial.
Yeah, Uni of Sheff. Yeah, as you said, they won't be delighted. They're not going to sing about it because that's not right. But they will take advantage and they'll try and press these bench players rather than these quality starters that unfortunately had to leave the game.
Referee's trying to get us back underway. Coach is just taking a couple more seconds to put in some last-second words. We see that a lot in basketball. They're supposed to only have a minute, but it's more like a minute 20. Obviously, it was a foul call then. We see these guys lining up at the line. Miles Victory, no good. Obviously, he was chosen then to take these free throws. Obviously, it was Hamza Ibrahim who was fouled, but it was the landing after that foul that means he's no longer in the game. Very possibly may not return. And so Miles Victory was chosen to take those free throws. He's made one of them. Gives Sheffield Hallam an 8-point lead early in this second quarter.
I think we need to see
good
something
defense
different.
there. Berzini's full us. That one. Sorry about that.
So, we need to see something different on offense from Sheffield Uni of Sheff. It's getting a bit stagnant.
It is. Great defense there, though. All of them going straight up in the air. No arms coming down. That's a lovely pass. That's another lovely pass. And that's Cherna Kamara in for the layup. Lovely, unselfish basketball there from Uni of Sheffield. The kind of pace we want to see. We want to see them get the ball back and head out quickly. Get out on the break. Finds Miles Victory. Blocked by Ratliff. Fernandez at the top. Goes left, finds Ratliff. He's looking for Kamara. Kamara just about holds on to the ball. Settles with Fernandez. And he'll make his shot from the right-hand side. The mid-range J is good. Make it a 4-point game. As we saw, those injuries maybe have shifted the momentum. Maybe Sheffield Hallam feeling a little bit down on themselves. And we're seeing it translate into a decent run here for Uni of. Another missed shot. That time for Mead Bramble.
Well, you have to say any injury would shock a bit of a shock to the system for a team, because they don't want to see those players go down either.
Big rebound, Charlie Ratliff. He puts it back up again. It's a 2-point game. And I can see Greg Unwin getting very happy over on the side. This, as we said before, this was a game Greg Unwin wanted, obviously, the club sport director, I believe, at Sports Sheffield. He's well chuffed. He wants to win this one.
You can
but
see
they
it
still
in his
trail.
face.
You can see it in his face. Very, very serious with Greg Unwin. But anyway, those people at home watching from home aren't going to be able to see Greg Unwin. He's not on camera, so we'll move away from him. He's not relevant. Basketball's relevant. And here's a Sheffield Hallam ball on the side. They lead by 2. We're looking at about right now, I think we're looking at about a 6-0 run from the University of Sheffield, which Sheffield Hallam will be looking to halt now. Here's Peter Wallet. That one's off. That's an air ball, and the shots go up from the University of Sheffield side. Momentum definitely with the University of Sheffield. Nathan Hull with a J. That's going to go all the way over as well. Back-to-back air balls. The shout comes from the Hallam side now. Would be nice to have some on-target jumpers, wouldn't it?
All right, at least hit the rim.
At least hit the rim, exactly. Yeah. Bazzini's. Wallet again. He'll drive to the rim. Finds Captain Miles Victory. Bang!
But
that's Mead Bramble for 3. Makes it a 5-point game. That's the shot that Sheffield Hallam really needed.
Yeah, right in the corner there. An absolute dead eye. Fantastic shot and fantastic finish.
And the 3-point from the corner, obviously shorter distance than from anywhere else. Obviously, as we can see, the line kind of curves more sharply as they approach the corner. That's the score inside for Kamara. And they'll be looking to get more of that from Kamara. That really helped them in the game that they did eventually lose, of course, earlier this month against Sheffield Hallam. That's a good score from Mead Bramble, sorry.
They're not protecting the paint anymore, both teams. Bit all over the place on defence at the moment.
A foul called there. It's going to go Sheffield Hallam way, I believe. A little bit too physical going after the rebound there from Cherno Kamara. And he's going to come out of the game for Charlie Ratliff. Charlie Ratliff back in the game. So not a massive break for the captain, but he's back in again. He comes in when he's called upon. And he has been called upon because I believe that is Kamara's second foul now. Obviously, 2nd to 4, not even at half-time. So just to protect him, make sure he doesn't get another one, which puts him in a tricky position for the second half. Yeah. But he's going to come out and sit. So we may not see him back in the last 5 minutes of this first half. But we may do, because he's one of the more consistent sparks in the middle for University of Sheffield.
That's a shame, because he has been playing very well. Just the 2 fouls, definitely the coach wouldn't want to risk that.
He's been solid.
Bit too physical.
Travel call on Mead Bramble. Mead Bramble's got a very fun relationship with the University of Sheffield crowd. When they played a couple of weeks ago, lots of chants coming from the balconies as he was taking free throws. Every time he made one, he turned and he would shush the crowd. He'd put a finger to his lips. He likes to engage, doesn't he?
Well, you love a bit of gamesmanship, especially in these kind of rival games. Not just from the fans, but clearly the players love getting involved as well.
Darian Campbell gets the screen from Ratliff. He's coming to the rim. Picks it up. Doesn't score, but gets his own rebound. Can't put it up and in. No, that's a missed layup. That's a missed chance. You've got to make those. The University of Sheffield could be hurt here if we get a big score from the University of from Sheffield Hallam. Mead Bramble going to go baseline on Alexander Cooper. Doesn't make it. The rebound went to Ratliff. Here's Nathan Hull. Big block from Tyler Lister. It's going to go the other way. The crowd on the Sheffield Hallam side go up in cheers. And that's the block the other end. Mead Bramble blocked there. He thinks it was a foul. He'll turn to the ref. Bit of a shrug. There's Harry Selick. His layup bounces out as well. Two big shots that really Uniov should have had and needed to have had.
Yeah, especially with the block there. He thought momentum switch to Hallam, then momentum switch back to Uni, and he just needs to make that shot.
Tyler Lister for three. No good. Harry Selick finds Alexander Cooper. Oh, Cooper drops it.
Frustration from the coach there. Bang the ball on the ground, not happy.
Timeout, University of Sheffield. At least I think it was University of Sheffield because that chair was in position for the coach extremely quickly. University of Sheffield timeout there. And what do you think he's going to be saying then in that timeout?
He's going to be frustrated, missed opportunities. You're 5 points down, but actually, you have to say Uniov had the opportunity to tie, if not be up right now. But you could argue Hallam have had the same, but Uniov definitely in the position they're in as underdogs need to take those chances, unfortunately.
Exactly, especially with two key players not on the court and potentially unlikely to see the court, because looking at the Sheffield Hallam bench, I do not see Hamza Ibrahim anymore. So he's clearly gone. We may not see him again. He's exited the game. Courtney Alexander's still there, so we may still see Courtney. But Ibrahim is no longer on that bench.
It's very unfortunate for the young man. He obviously wants to play in this massive varsity game, and he's been contributing all season to now in one of the final games of the season to get injured like that. He'd be devastated. He'd be absolutely gutted.
And a big varsity game for everyone involved. Big varsity for everyone involved, because there'll be a lot of players, obviously maybe third-year students who have been here 3 years, but because of the pandemic haven't had a varsity yet. That could have been. I'm not sure. Obviously, I'm what's the word? Making it up.
Yeah.
But that could be his. He could be a third-year student, and that was his last chance to play in a varsity game before graduating. So, especially frustrating if that's the case. Whose ball is it? Is it Uni Sheffield ball? I think it's Uni of Sheffield ball. It is University of Sheffield ball. No one seemed to want it to go and get the ball inbounded there. Charlie Ratliff will start us with the ball. Out of bounds. Miscommunication again.
That full court press paying dividends for Hallam once again.
It is working for them. University of Sheffield need to move the ball quicker. With a full court press, you've got to really get that ball past that first line as quick as you can. Because once you are past that first line, you've got all that space in the middle to make something work and to get a full head of steam. Missed three-pointer there from Tyler Lister. Foul, whistle blown. And the foul call on Alexander Cooper. And that means that the University of Sheffield have entered team fouls. For those of you who don't know then, team fouls, obviously we said there's 4, I believe, personal fouls that a player can commit before they're out of the game. Obviously, as a team as a whole, each individual's personal foul tallies up into a broader team foul. And when you hit a certain quota, which is obviously 5 fouls, the team goes to the free throw line. And from now on, in this quarter, any foul in this game, no matter if the player was shooting or not for Sheffield Hallam, will result in free throws. So a costly foul to make for Alexander Cooper.
Oh, now, you can't be reaching in, you can't be blocking, can't even make a personal foul. You just got to be careful now for the last 3 minutes of this half. You don't want to give them freebies.
Lovely pass to Harry Selick there. He does kick it out. Finds Charlie Ratliff. And another thrown away pass for Uni of Sheffield. Not sure on the decision they're making from Charlie Ratliff. Opting to go from one elbow to the post at Nathan Hull. We had Alexander Cooper open on the wing for 3. I think in terms of the pass that's the easiest and probably the smartest, it would have been the one to Cooper.
Yeah, it's just it just shows a bit of a lack of communication between the two, and Charlie needs to sort that out because he's the captain, he's the vocalist.
He needs to sort it out. Sort it out, Charlie.
To put it blunt.
Here's Cooper. Back out to Selick on the outside. Here's Darian Campbell, sorry. Cooper will receive the screen from Ratliff. He uses it. Ball gets knocked away. Stays with Sheffield Hallam, is it? No, it stays with Uni of Sheffield. I'm not sure what's happened there. We're not at half-time yet. We've still got 2 minutes to go. What was the call? I'm not sure what's happened there. But either way, University of Sheffield ball from the sideline. Still down 6. We've hit a bit of a stagnant point in this quarter. I feel like we haven't seen a lot of scoring over the last few minutes. Yeah. What does either team need to do to break this deadlock? Well, not deadlock in score, but deadlock in scoring.
Just they need that big basket, that pivotal moment. I think you saw it with the momentum that Uni have got just before Hallam started pushing back. They got the momentum, they started scoring, but now it's just a bit stop-starty, chop and change, and you're not seeing fluid basketball at the moment. You're seeing quite stagnant, quite basic basketball.
Hopefully we'll see something for one of the teams soon. University of Sheffield will have an opportunity to kickstart their offence. Finds Charlie Ratliff down low. Pass was too far. For 3, Alex Cooper. That's off the mark. Rebound came to Tyler Lister. There's a fight for the ball. And Lister, it's going to be a jump ball call. Which way is it going to go? It's gone University of Sheffield way. So we saw in the women's game a lot of these jump balls going the way of Sheffield Hallam. Obviously the way that this jump ball system works, when the ball is tied up with 2 players, no single team in possession, you get these jump ball rules. And in these FIBA rules, the jump ball is determined by the flow of possession. So next time this happens, in this quarter, if this happens in this quarter, as we get a score from Tyler Lister there, to push the lead to 8. If we get another jump ball in this quarter, it'll go to Sheffield Hallam. But if we don't, then the start of the next quarter will go to Sheffield Hallam, as we've got a whack in the face for Charlie Ratliff as he loses the ball. Peter Wallet finds Bazzinis. No good. Nathan Hull with the score there. Cameron Savage using his shoulders to get to the rim, couldn't make it. Here's Alex Cooper, pulls up, hits the J.
Smart.
Brings the lead back down to 6. 1 minute to play in this first half. Sheffield Hallam slowing the game down here as we go for 3. No 3-point shot made there. That was the first shot of the game for Peter Wallet. So I've been calling. Big shot there from Alex Cooper. That's a lovely shot, but I do just want to apologise first of all. So far in this first half, I've been calling Nicole Giuliani Peter Wallet because I've had the numbers mixed up. So I do apologise to both those guys. Been referring to them by the wrong name. So number 32, as we do get a score inside there from Miles Victory. Number 32 is Nicole Giuliani, and number 29 is Peter Wallet, and not the other way around. So I do apologise to both those guys. And here comes Giuliani. 7 seconds to go in the half. Bazzinis! Bang! A big shot to finish the half. As the clock hits 0, Bazzinis at the end, adding 3 more on. What a first half it's been of men's ones basketball. It's been a close game, back and forth. But now we have a break, and we will send you back to our presenter team of Connor and Hugh.
It was an incredible first half display, I think, from both teams there. Hallam walking away with that 8-point lead so far at half time. It was definitely end to end, wasn't it? It was just going back and forth the entire time.
Yeah, it was a fantastic first half, just what you want to see from Varsity. Bit of grit, bit of determination, that's all you need. And there was a few standout players for me. Cooper for Uni of Sheff, fantastic. Getting the ball about, passing it around, great playmaker. And also Tyler Lister for Hallam, fantastic half from him. He was doing it all. Get to the ball in his hands next half, and he is scoring, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, there seemed to be a lot of driving through the middle, didn't there? You just saw the players driving that through the middle. A lot of 2-pointers, I would say. There was a lot less shots to those 3 points than probably what we saw in the women's game, especially. It just seems to be a lot more just trying to weave your way in and out of players. Did you see that happening a lot in that first half?
Yeah, I did, and that reflected by the amount of fouls and the fact that we went into the bonus towards the end. that every foul then became a free throw opportunity. But yeah, there was a lot of fouls being given away. Kamara in particular, he was playing fantastic, but he just needs to be a bit less physical, a bit less in your face, because the referees are clearly catching on to him. And he's got 2 fouls out of 4, and that's why they took him out. And he's been a massive miss for Uni of Sheff. Massive presence in the middle with Charlie Ratcliffe. And speaking of Charlie Ratcliffe, he's turned it up a bit more towards the end, but as a captain, he needs to be a bit more of a vocal leader for Uni of Sheff, especially in such a big game like this.
Yeah, Kamara was a big reason for how Uni of Sheffield did so well last time they played Hallam. He apparently had an absolute great game. He was scoring at will, and I think if he keeps, obviously, as you said, if he keeps getting a bit annoyed at what's going on the pitch and the refs catch on to that, obviously that can get him into a lot of trouble, and I think he's crucial to the way Uni of Sheffield play. And I don't think, especially with them behind, they can't afford to lose Kamara, can they?
No, they definitely can't afford to lose him, because he's put up a lot of their points in this first half. A lot of rebounds, a lot of second chance points. He's been crucial. And if he gets that 4th foul, Uni are in big trouble, to be honest, especially if it's early in the second half.
Yeah, definitely, because obviously if they lose him, fitness will come into play. And speaking of fitness, Hallam with 2 injuries very early on, and they came back to back. They were literally seconds apart from one another.
Well, yeah, you don't want to see that at any level of the game. I mean, in all my years of punditry and commentating in basketball, I haven't seen that 2 drop like that. And it is such a shame that those 2 players, who obviously really wanted to be there, have been contributing all season in the Bucks League, just to pick up injuries on the big day, really, in quick succession. It is very unfortunate to see, and you want to see them thrive and be out there.
Yeah, definitely. You could see the frustration on their faces, right? Like visual frustration. Like you could see the stomping of the feet as well, which, there's a reason for it. This is such a big game. This is probably their biggest game of the year, unless you make it to obviously the final or you win the league. This is your biggest game, and it's probably made even bigger by your friends, your family, all being here, all cheering you on, and the crowd have played a massive, it's almost been like an extra man, haven't they, on that court, really?
Oh, Bragster, it has been vital. The crowd has been absolutely fantastic here. Hallam and the Sheffield firm out, all really giving it big voice. Especially on the free throws. A lot of free throws, I reckon, have been missed today and are going to get missed because of the ums and ahs of the crowd. It's been fantastic so far. That massive atmosphere. When the threes have gone in, everyone's gone crazy. When the dunks have been attempted, almost one went in there, almost, from Tyler Lister. It's been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, we did mention that we expected to see the G's early on. First three-point throws went in, immediately the G's came with it, and it was just purely expected. We expected to see it from the fans, and as we should, right? We should expect that from the fans, because it's pure passion, and you're seeing the passion from the players, you're seeing the passion from the fans, and those dunks, you hear the crowd really get off their feet for them. It went in and it went straight back out. It was lovely to see. I mean, obviously it would have been better if it went in, but it was just the fact that you just saw it go in. It was all there, and it just fell out at the final second.
Yeah, it has been a cracker. The 3-pointers have been flying in. We are just missing that dunk. I think everybody wants to see it. Everybody's waiting, anticipating for it. He almost got it, but Tyler Lister's come the closest so far, and he's had a fantastic game. So.
He really has had a fantastic game, and I do think. I feel like it's coming, right? That dunk's gotta be coming somewhere. There's a lot of big people that haven't even really got onto the court yet, and really haven't had the time to shine. And there will be people that do come in towards the end for those, that physicality to just come on, drive themselves through, get that dunk. And I could see one going in, and the crowd just going absolutely wild. And I think we have to credit the fact that Hallam seemed to be racing away with this very quickly, right? They seem to be, the points just seemed to going up and up and up, and there was a concern. You could hear the concern amongst the fans that this was just going to be a walk in the park for Hallam. But Sheffield Uni dug in and just drive themselves forward. Why do you think they managed to do that?
Well, they're hanging in there at the moment, to be honest, but they've shown it. The hustle, the ambition to try and get forward. They've tried to up the tempo. He said they're going to be a bit slow before, but they've really tried to up the tempo. They've got in Hallam's face, and it's a credit to them. They are behind by 7 at the half, but they're definitely still in it. We saw a bit of momentum switch their way, a couple blocks, a couple big baskets. Then that could easily happen in the second half, and it seems to be a similar tale to the women's with that momentum swing.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like the defence is going to play a massive part in this second half right here. Like, there was so many big blocks coming in very last second jumps, and there's probably where we might see a couple of extra injuries as well. And you know, as you said, the defence will play a big part, but so will the offence. Obviously it will, but that defence I think will be crucial. Who can hold their pressure? Who can hold their nerve? There's only one way to find out, and that way is to pass to the commentary team, where they'll take you through that second half.
Thank you very much, guys. We are back courtside, back looking at the court for the second half of Men's 1s Varsity Basketball. This is the second Men's Varsity Basketball fixture we've had today. Obviously earlier on today we had the Men's 2s play, and what a result that one was for the University of Sheffield. Not as lopsided historically, the second team game, with both teams having victories in recent years, but a cracking victory for the University of Sheffield by 26 points. Something that obviously the Men's 1s will be hoping to emulate. Hasn't quite gone to plan so far, but the 2s did come from behind to win the game by that margin last time out. But it's a good start for Sheffield Hallam University as Teo Mead Bramble gets on the board for Sheffield Hallam. We have got Cherna Kamara back in the game to start the half, University of Sheffield. Cherna Kamara, we didn't see Cherna Kamara until this half then, did we? Just as we thought with his 2 fouls, that was just to protect him, keep him in the game in the second half. And he is back in the game now, so hopefully University of Sheffield can start to feed him, because he's been strong against Sheffield Hallam.
Bit of a dodgy screen. Bit of a bad screen there, just a bit moving.
Not a great one. Giuliani inbounds, and I will get his name right this half, because I was referring to him by the wrong name. Here's Victory, the captain. Kusevicius finds Giuliani, who drives. Here's Miles Victory trying to get himself down low. He couldn't quite get there. Hallam need to get a shot up. Ow, and he does. That's a lovely shot from Nico Giuliani. And that's the feed inside to Kamara, who does score just as we expected. Gets the ball inside and scores early on. It is now, though, 10-point game to Sheffield Hallam, as Giuliani goes to the rim and does get fouled.
Yeah, I think that'll be the main thing. Uniov don't want this to get away from them. They don't want that at all. And at half-time, it would have been, the coach would have drilled that in. And hopefully, for their sake, they can pick it up a bit more in this half.
They'll certainly be hoping to. As the lead is pushed to 11, 40-29 by Giuliani. Oh no, it's not. There we are. 40-29. It now shows on the scoreboard here in the stadium.
A lot of energy from
goes to Fernandez. As he just runs into defenders there. That's a turnover. Here's Mead Bramble. He's going to step outside the 3-point line, and he finds Giuliani. And that is a great score from Peter Wallet. And that is Peter Wallet, not Giuliani, as again I was doing throughout the first half. Here's Cameron Savage. Loses defender with a nice little V-cut. To the rim, Cameron Savage misses his lay-in, but an offensive rebound for Ratcliffe, who misses as well. Chances are wasting for the University of Sheffield early on, not hitting the ground running at all.
They've been very wasteful, and a bit of bother there, but it seems to have sorted itself out. Yeah, they are being pretty wasteful in possession, and that was a bit of a trend towards the end of the first half as well. They couldn't quite capitalise on Hallam's mistakes, but also kept making their own.
Yeah, not a great start for them. They may find some comfort, as much as you can when an opposing player gets injured, in the fact that Hamza Ibrahim is back on the bench with Sheffield Hallam, but he's got a shirt on and his shoes off, in civvies, as you could say. So I think that's a good sign that he's not going to be returning to the game for Sheffield Hallam.
Oh yeah, that's gutting for him, but you got to say Uniov will be licking their lips almost, because he's a key player, and you don't want to see him injured, but they're going to be happy that they don't have to defend him, that's for sure.
Great recovery defense there from Sheffield Hallam. If that one got away for them, a fast break bucket like that can be all that is needed to shift momentum in a basketball game. So they've done a good job there to. And the putback rebound from Miles Victory. I think Klusevicius was lucky not to be called for 3 seconds in the paint there. Kamara. Fernandez pulls up from the free throw line. Bang! He makes that shot, takes the University of Sheffield to within 13 points. And as we've seen at the start of this second half, as the shot goes up, and that's another three made. That's Mead Bramble from behind the arc. Pushes the lead to 15, and we are seeing that these two teams, as we saw in their Bucks seasons, are really of two different qualities. We are seeing that to start this half.
Yeah, but that's a massive and one there. Cooper, fantastic work, massive body in there, pushes his way in and gets the and one. Sorry to cut you off about that.
No, that's all right. It's a good call. And we do have a timeout.
See, that is a momentum changer, basket that.
That is, particularly if he makes it. Yeah. But a very good timeout from Sheffield Hallam, because I do not believe that would have been called by Uniov after a play like that. A smart timeout there from the Hallam coach, because he knows an and one play can be enough to shift momentum, and he doesn't want it. He wants it to stay as it is, with Sheffield Hallam a class above Uniov.
Yeah, definitely. He wants to just break up that little bit of momentum they got. The crowd got a bit up on their feet with the and one going in, and now everyone's simmered down because he's called the timeout and just got everyone's heads together.
Yeah, we've got phones out and Instagram scrolls happening now in this timeout, and it certainly has died down. Obviously, these two teams, we've said before, very different in terms of success this year. Sheffield Hallam obviously winning the Northern Tier 1 division, and that obviously qualified them for the knockouts, the Premier North playoffs, which the University of Sheffield did not qualify for. They went all the way to the semi-final before losing to Nottingham Trent. Now, Nottingham Trent is a team that they will face again soon, I believe. Oh no, they're going to play in the semi-final against Nottingham Trent. They haven't done it yet. That's coming at the start of April. They have already played Nottingham Trent in the National Trophy. Where they again met them in the semi-final, but they lost by 30 to this Nottingham Trent team. This Nottingham Trent team hasn't lost a game so far this year, so not a bad team to be defeated by, but that's what's coming up on the schedule for Sheffield Hallam after Varsity, is that semi-final against the nation's top basketball team. Well,
you could argue that your head's not in the Varsity, but I disagree that they think this is even maybe a bigger game for them. This is the big intercity derby, you know. That big game's on the horizon, but they want momentum for that as well, especially.
They certainly do, and a win in Varsity was obviously boost the confidence going into that one, where they need all the confidence they can get against that Nottingham Trent team. Obviously, on the contrary, for the University of Sheffield, no knockout appearance, because obviously they finished 5th in the division. But obviously all teams get a chance in the National Trophy, but they went out round 1 against Leeds, losing by 15 in November. So less basketball to play this year for them.
Well, they'll be disappointed with that, and I think that is something today that they would have really want to prove, and
Ooh! Bazzini's nearly sending
I don't know. Was that an ankle
Darian
breaker
Campbell
or
to the ground.
maybe it was a bit of a wet floor there. I don't know.
That's what Darian Campbell will be telling people. A little bit of sweat on the floor, that's why he slipped. And look at that, noticing here, Sheffield Hallam out in a zone on defence. You saw that with the way the two players sort of parted on the pass fake.
Yep.
University of Sheffield in man-to-man. And a zone defence really good because it allows players to save their energy. Obviously, they're doing a bit less moving around. When man-to-man, you've got to follow your man all over the court, no matter where he goes. Where with a zone, you kind of stay in one little area and you play defence when the ball, when you have to, when there's some defence to be played in your area.
Well, I think the crucial thing to that, as you said, is play the defence when it's in your area, and Hallam seem to be doing that since the switch up from man to a zone, so they've done very well.
And it's obviously less energy consuming, this zone defence. That could allow Hallam to really push the tempo in the second half offensively and force Sheffield, University of Sheffield, who are still playing man-to-man, to have to play man-to-man hard, which will then obviously drain some energy, and it maybe could affect them on the offensive end.
Yeah, and it sort of allowed them to play this three-quarter, maybe trigger press on Uni of Sheff. Yeah, so they've been able to really bring the intensity towards them and force mistakes and errors.
And obviously for quality teams like these two are, obviously, as much as we've been saying that the University of Sheffield are not as good as Sheffield Hallam, there is no denying they're a good team. They are Northern Division 1 in the Bucks Championship. They are a very good basketball team, and for good basketball teams like this, it is easy to score on a zone defence. But that is something with this lead, that 14-point lead that Hallam now have, they're kind of happy to deal with. As the score inside there from Kamara, has that been waved off? It might have been. Has it been waved off?
Oh.
It's not been waved off. It's gone up on the scoreboard. Miles Vetri walks to the bench. Is that another injury for Sheffield Hallam? What's happened there? And I do apologise, obviously, with the balcony that we're on, I don't think we've been able to see what quite happened there, but Miles Vetri has gone to the bench. He doesn't seem too happy.
Yeah, he seemed a bit uneasy there. It didn't look like a scheduled change.
No, not something they maybe wanted to do. Obviously, it was quite a rush there for Tyler Lister to get on the court, but he has checked in, and he's got the ball at the top. He shoots a 3-ball, which is offline, and it's going to go the way of the University of Sheffield. As again, we see the full court press here from Sheffield Hallam. The full court press not possible in the zone defence. They have switched back to man in order to do this. And the foul call there on Luke Rocket, the number 12 for the Sheffield Hallam University. That puts both teams on 3 team fouls. Obviously 2 more before either team is in, well, what we call team fouls territory, where players are going to the free throw line. Out of bounds call as Alexander Cooper puts his foot out of bounds. That's a turnover for them. And Sheffield Hallam will take the ball back. It is a 12-point game, so the lead has been cut into by the University of Sheffield over the last few minutes. But I don't feel like we're looking at a massive momentum shift here where we can expect to see Uni close in. Are you getting that feeling as well?
Yeah, you can feel it from the atmosphere. There doesn't feel like a massive change. There hasn't been a big play to make this happen. It's sort of chugging along. It's not. There hasn't been a big push, and as they're cutting into the deficit, but it's been quite minor so far. If they maybe pull off a free and one, a big play, they might get back into it.
Kamara scores down low.
And that'll lose him out.
And they'll certainly take those 2 points as that cuts the lead to 10. So the run at the minute with the University of Sheffield, they're getting good points inside, forcing at the minute, it looks to me like there's a lot more 3-pointers going up from Sheffield Hallam at the moment. Is that game plan, do you think, or is that maybe what the defence is forcing them to take at the University of Sheffield end?
Well, they were attacking the perimeter in the first half, I thought, quite well. So I think they're maybe just trying to maintain a bit of that 3-point shooting and keep it flowing, because you don't want to just focus on going inside. They definitely want to keep spreading the Uni off.
and we have seen Sheffield Hallam go back to the zone defence here, and University of Sheffield doing exactly what they have to do against the zone, moving the ball left and right as quickly as they can, trying to shift this unit till they get a good shot inside with Nathan Hull, who can't quite finish, but Cherna Kamara there again tips it back up and in.
He's been playing a great game.
Here's Mead Bramble, gets inside, scores, and one!
And one.
He'll go to the line for a chance to make it a three-point play. That's the shot you need when you've surrendered the kind of run that Sheffield Hallam have. Stopping it dead in its tracks, and hopefully, for Sheffield Hallam's sake, that will give them the opportunity to maybe go on a run of their own, or just keep University of Sheffield at bay. Here's Darian Campbell.
Booyah!
What
And that
play!
raised the roof in here.
What a play! That put back down with two hands. And that is not as simple as he made that look. He knew exactly where that ball was coming off, and he got exactly where he needed to. That's the kind of play University of Sheffield have been waiting for, and they've got the stop here. Here's Alexander Cooper. And the ball swatted away. It comes up with Kamara. He spins. Oh, and it's just off.
They've got to keep building that momentum, though. They can't let that miss get in their heads. That was a huge play that just happened. Got everyone.
A massive play. And the University of Sheffield side down by 8, but the crowd do not mind as Tyler Lister puts the ball in the bucket from the elbow.
You have to say Hallam responding just as well.
A lovely shot. Excellent technique as well there from Tyler Lister. A lovely shooting stroke. Here's Kamara. Hull. Selick. Kamara in the post. Double team comes from Giuliani. But Kamara turns to the rim and he scores again. Back to an 8-point game. The University of Sheffield are feeling good. Cherna Kamara is feeling good.
Yeah, I said at half-time, he is putting the team on his back right now. What a massive play from him. And then he's really bullying inside the paint to try and get some more scores.
Missed three there from Mead Bramble. The deflected pass does fall to Harry Selick. Getting the zone defense to move. Alexander Cooper scores down low now. 6-point game as we tick down. We are inside 45 seconds. We are approaching the end of the third quarter. This is a hell of a run the University of Sheffield are on. I didn't see this coming 2 minutes ago.
Oh, Uni really turned it on in the last few minutes. And it is that big play. And Hallam are struggling.
There. Momentum just continues to switch.
Oh!
He's got
baby!
English Institute of Sport interrupted. 4-point game, 15 seconds till the end of the third quarter. Sheffield Hallam University will make sure they take the last shot of the quarter here. They can't allow any opportunity for Sheffield Hallam to capitalise on the momentum that they've built. Giuliani, bang!
Bang!
He hits the three!
This game is heating up.
What an incredible end to the third quarter. Oh, that was only 2. Giuliani's shot was only 2, but nonetheless, it's got the Sheffield Hallam side feeling good. It piped down the Uni offside a little bit, but what an end to the third quarter. That was brilliant.
I have to say, I didn't have a Scoobies where that was going. That was unbelievable. That last minute and a half, fantastic basketball, really heated up.
That was absolutely fantastic. Cherna Kamara giving us the plays that we said University of Sheffield need. And they've gone from trailing by, how much was it at one point? It might have been 16 at one point. Now it's a 6-point game. It was 4, obviously before that shot from Giuliani at the end.
Yeah, I don't want to toot my own horn, but at half-time, I was really talking about Kamara. We were saying 2 fouls, dangerous. He's on the edge in the first 2 quarters with having 2 fouls, but he's come in and he has been he's been electric in
absolutely brilliant. And he was the
quarter.
guy that was really pushing them forward when they last matched up these 2 teams. And he's pushing University of Sheffield forward again as they look to come back into this game. We'll be getting started with the 4th and final quarter of Sheffield Varsity Basketball in just under 1 minute's time. Wow. not a particularly high-scoring basketball affair in Varsity so far. The women's wasn't particularly, and neither is the men's so far. Obviously, with 1 quarter to go, both teams teetering around their averages. There's a long way to go for both of them to hit their averages bang on in terms of what they're scoring per game. But obviously, both teams have put out some fairly large offensive performances so far this season. Top points scored for both teams. Sheffield Hallam scored 103 points versus Chester earlier in 2021 in November. And also, 9th of March, not too long ago, the University of Sheffield put up 87 versus Leeds. So both teams can give us a lovely output of points when they need to. Obviously, we have said before, University of Sheffield, the lowest average point scorers in this division. But what this does mean, with both teams not being incredible defensive teams, Sheffield Hallam, we've talked about University of Sheffield's defence compared to the division, but considering Sheffield Hallam won that division, they rank 5th out of 6th in terms of opponent points per game, which means, obviously, the only team that concedes more points per game than them in that division is the University of Sheffield. And that is what we've seen in the final 2 minutes of that quarter, is the not fantastic defence, but lovely offensive output from both sides.
Yeah, there you go. It was gaps everywhere, and you have to say that it wasn't just poor defence. It was some fast, electric offence as well, and it has been fantastic and sets up for a real grandstand finish in this last quarter here.
You could say that that end of the quarter came at just the wrong time for the University of Sheffield. They've had to have a break now. As Courtney Alexander checks back into the game at the start of the 4th quarter, that's good. We saw him go down in the first half with a apparent ankle injury, but it's good to see him back in the game.
Yeah, and he's getting an ovation from both the fans because they know how much it means as well. And I'm sure he's glad to be back in the side.
I'm sure he is as well. Checking in and taking on the assignment of guarding Cherno Kamara as well.
Yeah, we'll see how that matchup comes up now.
We'll have to see how he does with that one. The pass from Cameron Savage. The score from Cherno Kamara. He comes out, starting off just where he left off. Sheffield Uni trail by 4. Hallam looking to respond.
It is absolutely
Tyler
vanished.
Lister in the corner. No good. Here's Kamara with the rebound. The pass tipped will go University of Sheffield's way. And the crowd's gotten loud again there.
Yeah, the Uni of Sheff are really... but they've given it away cheaply there.
Oh, and he's blown the dunk! And Harry Selleck, he blew the dunk. He really needs to get that rebound there. I think he just fell asleep a little bit because he's allowed Tyler Lister to come straight back in and take that rebound. Yeah. A blown dunk and a score would have been lovely for for Sheffield again. Here's Nathan Hull at the top, looking for a pass. Finds Kamara, but Courtney Alexander does enough to stop the ball from getting to him. He does knock it out of bounds. We will come back to the University of Sheffield, but disrupting the offence there, Courtney Alexander going in and doing probably exactly what the coach asked him to do.
Yeah, you can tell how much of a miss he's been for them, just picking up a little injury on the side there. But now he's come back in, he's really testing Kamara now.
And another tipped pass. Nathan Hull recovers it. It's going to go to Harry Selleck in the corner. Guarded by Tyler Lister. Behind the back from Selleck.
It's out of bounds.
It's a 24-second clock shot violation. Obviously, basketball teams given 24 seconds to shoot the ball, so that way they just can't just dribble it out. And it's the first time I think we've seen a violation in this game. I think we had one in the women's game earlier on. This is the first time in the men's game.
Well, you'd be frustrated for that, especially as the coach. I mean, at least you want to get a shot up, really.
You do. Even if it's a bad one, you just want to get one up and give yourself a chance. Here's Lister. Takes the three at the top. Bang! Boosh. Hits the three, gives Hallam a 9-point lead.
And Lister again there, he has been tidy from behind the arc, you have to say.
We said it before, he's got a lovely shooting throat. His shooting form, textbook, really fundamental. Yeah. And it's lovely to watch from an analytical standpoint, from a coaching standpoint, however how you look at it. It's always lovely to see somebody with fantastic shooting form.
Yeah, it's a vintage form. It is fantastic from Lister, and that basket has killed a lot of momentum for Union. You'd have to say that big through.
Alexander drives on Kamara, isn't going down for him. Here's Harry Selleck, pressured immediately. Tries to find Kamara, who does so. Scramble for the ball. Lister comes away with it. Here come Hallam. 3-on-3 fast break. And the turnover there from Lister. Hull picks up the ball. Alexander Cooper's going the other way. He's going to have to slow it right down and set Uniov up in the half-court set. Here's Harry Selleck to the rim, challenging Courtney Alexander. He does so, but Alexander comes out on top.
He got blocked by the backboard there, did he? Or was it Alexander?
I thought it was a block for Courtney Alexander.
There you go, that just shows you again what they missed, a defensive presence, clearly.
Great recovery from Alexander as well, because Harry Selleck wasn't Courtney Alexander's man on defense there. He had to recover and cover for a teammate there who had lost touch. So great bit of defensive work there from Courtney Alexander. Here's Sheffield Hallam. Here's Mead Bramble, driving. Doesn't finish inside, tipped up by Kamara. He does get the rebound, and he's off. Cooper. Darian Campbell. Kamara's got it over the top. Woos coming from the University of Sheffield crowd as he touches the ball here. The pick and roll. Here's Darian Campbell. Scores off the screen. Talk about the free throw line. That's a 2-point J.
Lovely little bank shot just for around the free throw line and cut the deficit once again.
Lister no good. Here's Alexander Cooper with the rebound. Pushing the tempo here, but nothing for him. He's going to go baseline. Scoops it up. It's going to just rock out. That's unlucky. Just couldn't get the bounce to go for him.
Yeah, sometimes it just fizzles out. Just unlucky there. Sometimes it goes in, sometimes it doesn't. That's life.
Lister into the lane. No good. Rebound Darian Campbell. Back to Cooper again, their point guard. Here's Cameron Savage. He's going to challenge Courtney Alexander as well. Score for Kamara. No foul call on Savage. Kamara scores again. He's having a great second half. Obviously, we didn't see him. We've mentioned it before. We didn't see him towards the end of the first half because he was in foul trouble. He hasn't had another one in this half, which is good news for him and for the University of Sheffield. But what an impact he's having.
Well, hopefully that means for them that he can see the rest of this period out, 6 minutes or so. But yeah, what a miss he has been, and it is showed the momentum he has carried into this half. He's really cut the deficit to now only 5 points.
And this game potentially flip-flop. Well, it's not potentially flip-flopping. It is flip-flopping in terms of momentum. But is showing us at times the signs that University of Sheffield could close this gap and take it down to the wire. Obviously, and that would be a fantastic result for them, with a history of bad defeats in Varsity, and they have been getting closer and closer this year. It's looking at the moment like it's going to be their closest one yet, if they don't win, that is. And that will be surprising for not only us up here. I think the general consensus is that this is a Sheffield Hallam game to win, but it's not been easy. But also very surprising for Sheffield Hallam as well. Club chairman Max Watts has told me before the game that he was very, very confident leading into this one. And you have to be as basketball players, you have to be confident. But I don't think they were expecting this kind of a game.
Yeah, I think the Sheffield coach is building a project here. You can see how it's changed and see how they've improved, and they'll take real positives, even if this is end up in a defeat, because especially in that third quarter, they've really pushed back and taken the fight to Hallam.
They have, and that's a miss from Miles Victory to start off. You mentioned the programme that Sheffield are building. It's always going to be tough for any coach at the University of Sheffield. As Savage gets inside and scores, people on their feet for the University of Sheffield.
It's gone crazy in there.
But it's always going to be tough for University of Sheffield to build a programme for basketball that could challenge Sheffield Hallam because of the great relationship that the Sheffield Hallam clubs have with the pro teams in Sheffield. Obviously, the women's team, as we mentioned before, earlier in the day, a good relationship with the Sheffield Hatters. Their head coach, Vanessa Ellis, is also the head coach of the Sheffield Hatters, who are the most successful basketball team in Britain, men or women. But Sheffield Hallam men's have a good relationship with the Sheffield Sharks, and they have lots of players come through the Sheffield Hallam ranks. They end up playing for the Sharks. So it's always going to be tough when you have that sort of relationship with professional teams in the city to compete with Sheffield Hallam, but they have been building something special. You're right.
Yeah, it sums up sport a bit really. A bit more financial backing, a bit more facilities, and they come out as the better team. But I think the grit and the fight of the Uni of Sheff players has really shown, especially not just in this game but throughout the season. And although they finished last, or not almost last in the Bucks division, they really have shown that they've made some progress.
Foul call there, not a popular foul call with the University of Sheffield fans in the bleachers, as we are going to see Peter Wallet go to the line. I think these were his first free throws of the game. No good, but he's got one more try. To make it a two-possession game to Sheffield Hallam. It's good, just over halfway through this final quarter to go, and it is still a two-possession game to Sheffield Hallam. The full court press back for Sheffield Hallam here on defence, which of course, as we've said before, means they're back in a man-to-man. Pradip Fernandez. Ooh, that one's off and left.
Looked
so
all right
particularly
for a minute,
accurate. He got the distance.
Yeah.
Just
from here it looked like it was going in, but
Bazzini's off the right eye, and it's going to be a rebound for Miles Victory, who keeps it in to Giuliani. And someone in the crowd on the University of Sheffield side has a whistle. I thought that was a whistle there.
Yeah, so great defending there, though. Fantastic from Uni of Sheff. They forced Hallam into a bad shot, and they've now picked up the ball.
They have. Four minutes 40 of basketball to go here in Varsity. As Kamara comes up with it, he's going to turn around, put it back up. It's no good. Bazzini's with the rebound. And here comes Sheffield Hallam, unable to cut it to a one-possession game there. Miles Victory unsure what the plan is on offense that time. As they try to go with a pick and roll, it's no good. Here comes Nathan Hull. He's trying to find Alexander Cooper. He's just got to go up with it, and that's a foul call. Alexander Cooper will go to the line. We saw him make 2 free throws earlier on in the game. He's not been bad at the line, has he?
No, he hasn't at all. He's been one of their more reliable players, not just at the line, but just in overall play. Really been pushing the break and really been bringing the ball up and trying to make things happen. And hopefully here for Sheffield, he would want to make it a two-point game instead of a 4-point one.
The first is no good, so it stays a two-possession game. Obviously, this next one can make it a 3-point game. That is a one-possession game. So still a chance to bring the University of Sheffield within touching distance. He does. A stop here would go fantastically for the University of Sheffield. Here's Victory. Courtney Alexander at the top. Will drive on Kamara. As we see a foul call here on Darian Campbell. Pushing through the screen, that's not allowed. Bit too physical, and the refs don't like it. That's the foul call. And the ball will stay with Sheffield Hallam University as Mead Bramble checks back into the game for Nicole Giuliani. And that's the score for Sheffield Hallam University. That pushes the lead to 5. Back to Alexander Cooper it goes. Back to Darian Campbell, this time with Pradip Fernandez. Oh, and Kamara with a slip there. As he goes at Courtney Alexander, and he's going to get called for the travel. And a good call, that one. I definitely thought there was one in there.
Yeah. They've been a bit hot and cold on the travels today, I thought, but this time they're going to run.
They certainly have.
We can see it from up here sometimes, but I'm not a referee.
EIS now quieter than it probably has been all game. Both sides of the bleachers quiet. Here's Darian Campbell. He's going to try and take this one away. Which way this one is? This one going to go on the jump ball? Sheffield Hallam. Sheffield Hallam will keep it as we see Tyler Lister lining up to come in. He's going to replace Titus Pazzinis.
They'll bring in Lister now and they'll hope that he can make a few big buckets to see this out now.
We've seen a good stroke from him at points this game as well. You are right, and that is a useful skill to have on the court. Here's Mead Bramble, screen from Alexander. The roll isn't there for him, so Bramble will pull up. No good. Rebound Darian Campbell. Oh, and the pass to Kamara not able to work, doesn't work out there. I think that was a foul there, and the Hallam coach thinks so too. No call from the official. And that's Peter Wallet getting aside and scoring. Just had to double check that I wasn't going to get the names confused again. Pradeep Fernandez gets the screen from Kamara. Here's Nathan Hull at the top. He will also get a screen from Kamara. It'll go back to Pradeep Fernandez. And the feed to Kamara was not a good one. It gets poked away.
No, they do. Every possession's starting to count now here as the deficit's 7 points. They need to get a score up and keep stopping Hallam.
What they need is another big play, and as you say, with just over 2 minutes to go, and with a 7-point deficit, it's a 3-possession game. They need a big play. Here's Pradeep Fernandez. That's no good again. He just can't seem to get the connection right with the 3-point shooting today, can he?
The point guard can't quite seem to get it going. He's struggled a bit, especially from behind the arc.
It's not been a great game for Fernandez.
Still got time.
Still got time, of course he has. He can redeem himself. Corny Alexander, strong drive. He's happy with that one. Timeout to University of Sheffield. That's going to make it. Oh, 9 points. With just under 1.5 minutes to go, I believe. Interesting to say, considering he started the game for Sheffield Hallam, I'm now realising how little we've seen of club chairman Max Watts since the first quarter. He came in and I believe he hit a nice 3 at the start, took a 3 which he then missed, and the ref took him out. I don't think we've seen him since.
No, I don't think we have. I'm not sure if he's picked up an injury or something along those lines, or maybe just wanted to take a backseat role. But he seems to have just gone missing.
Well, he has got a T-shirt on, so maybe he has picked up a little niggling injury. And that is why he's sat on the bench so far since, I do believe, the first quarter. I don't think we've seen him since the first quarter.
Well, he did get that. It was him who took the hit below the belt, wasn't it?
No, I don't think that was him, no.
Oh, maybe not then. But anyway, no matter what, he's obviously not been in for a while, and that might be a bit concerning.
Right then, back they come. 1:43 left in the game. Hallam lead by 9. It's going to be a tricky deficit for Sheffield University to overcome here, but never say never.
They've just got to they've got to make every possession count here and stop Hallam. Basically, it's as basic as that.
Sheffield Hallam have done a really good job to curb the comeback in the second half of this fourth quarter.
Yeah,
and look at that, they're playing some real strict deny defense on Trevor Kamara. As a collision comes together there with Alexander Cooper, that's not the result they would have wanted. Miles Victory saves it, but it does go to the University of Sheffield. Alexander Cooper again, getting physical with the point guard late on, Sheffield Hallam.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to break up play. They're trying to stop it. Because that favours them. Stop, start, no momentum. They're ahead. They've got a nice enough lead for themselves here. They just want to break it up as much as possible.
I think this is the first real bit of contact that's really resulted in a foul call, though, and that might have been a bit frustrating for University of Sheffield so far. Here's Alexander Cooper. His shot is no good. Rebound Victory. And he'll give it to Giuliani. Just over 50 seconds to go here. And look at how slow this is going now. Sheffield Hallam University just trying to wind down the clock here. This one is, dare I say it, pretty much out of reach now.
Yeah, it's pretty much over now.
Inside, there's Tyler Lister. That one will put a nice on the game. That'll put them up 11. As we will now see some garbage time minutes for some of the other players in the team. As number 10 checks in for the University of Sheffield. And I do apologise, I don't have a name for number 10 for the University of Sheffield, so on my team sheet. So I do apologise to him. 30 seconds to go as Hallam are taking the game out of, well, taking the ball out of the game. They're just taking their time here, wasting the clock. As we do get a turnover now. Pradeep Fernandez was unsuccessful. It is going to be victory for Sheffield Hallam University. Once again in Sheffield Varsity. This one, 11 points the gap. But what a game it was. What a fantastic game. We saw a comeback attempt from Sheffield, from the University of Sheffield, which was thwarted after a fantastic end to the game for Sheffield Hallam. But they are once again men's varsity basketball champions, and that completes the first team sweep for the men's and women's for Sheffield Hallam. And now I will pass you then back to your presenter team to wrap up the fixture.
Well, that wraps up an incredible game here at Varsity. Hallam getting the win by 11 points in the end. I did not think it was going to finish with, I wouldn't say a large margin, but it was a larger margin than I expected it to be. It was so close into the final embers of that match, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was one of those games that you always thought a big play, a massive play, and Uni of Sheff could just squeeze in, could just get closer, but unfortunately for them, Hallam just kept them at an arm's length the whole time. They managed to curve that comeback constantly. They just managed to keep on top, scoring big baskets along the way.
Yeah, definitely. They just, every time Uni of got close, Hallam pulled away. It was the same story over and over. Once it got within probably like 3-4 points, Hallam would then get a couple of baskets themselves and regain that like length of victory that they had. And yeah, I'd have to say the one thing that did get Uni of back in that game for the length of time they did, not a long length of time, but they did get him back in the game, was Kamara. He seemed to have an unreal game.
Yeah, his play reminded me of a delicious pasta bake. It was just scrumptious when he was going towards the rim. He was fantastic. He was knocking the layups down. He put a fantastic putback slam back into the net, and he was just fantastic. He really put the team on his back. And yeah, his play was delightful, honestly.
Yeah, those two dunks were just incredible, and they got the crowd on their feet. That was one thing that I think was obvious to everybody here, was the fans just got louder and louder and louder as it went on. I think Hallam throughout the entire game, like their fans seemed to be up for it, with Uni of being a bit quiet, but you saw Uni of once Uni of players started getting into the game, you heard them getting louder, but it just wasn't quite enough. That extra man on that pitch of the fans just wasn't quite enough to drag Uni of over to get that elusive first victory.
Yeah, the Uni of Sheffield fans were, they brought the numbers, but did they bring the noise? Not really, until towards the end when Kamara, as we said, has really put him on his back and started pushing the deficit. But yeah, it was unlucky for Uni of in the end.
Yeah, we're going to be joined by the Hallam team captain now, Miles Victory. Come and join us, just come and stand alongside us. No, I think the obvious question, how do you feel after that?
Wow. I mean, it was a bit of a roller coaster. Obviously, injuries both ways, back and forth. Obviously, both teams went on runs, but we managed to put it out in the end and do the job.
Yeah, you seem to be ahead for pretty much the entirety of that game. Did you feel like you were setting the pace?
We tried our best to. Obviously, they kept coming. It's hard to slow down the game, especially when they're coming at you full pelt. But I think we did a good job to try and manage it and slow it down as much as possible and play our game.
I think a big talking point was obviously those dunks, right? Yeah. Those dunks get the crowd on their feet. Like, how do you manage as a team when you see that going against you and see the opposition's crowd going up? How do you manage that? Like, how do you bring everything back down?
I mean, it's especially tough to match that type of energy, especially when the crowd is like right behind our bench, the Uni of crowd. So it's hard to match that energy. But with our bench and with our fans there that supported us, it was a great environment, and we managed to lift our energies ourselves as well and match them.
Did you think that that went to plan? Did everything go to plan, or was it a lot tougher than probably you expected?
I mean, nothing really ever goes to plan. Obviously, we could have played better. We could have done things better. I'm sure they could have done the same. But we managed to try and limit down the turnovers and like the errors that we make as a team. So that's what we could do.
Yeah, you seem to have an incredible game, and I think you deserve to celebrate with the boys down below. So go on and do that, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Cheers. Thank you for having me. Cheers.
Well, speaking of enjoying the rest of your evening, you guys enjoy yours. Thank you so much for tuning in the entirety of the evening. Make sure to tune in to the ice hockey Wednesday, 7 p.m. right here on this channel. Make sure to tune in. Thank you to Hugh for joining me as a pundit, and thank you for joining Harry on commentary, and thank you to Harry, of course, for his incredible insight on commentary. And we shall see you on Wednesday night for the ice hockey. See you soon. Perfect.